I just believe in natural form and function and just naturally enhancing things so that you're not a topic of a TikTok where people talk about how much older you look because you had too much work done.
This podcast is a Dear Media production.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Welcome back to another episode of Girls Gotta Eat.
Welcome back. I have an announcement.
What is it?
My Uber rating is up.
What is it?
4.7.
Is that bad?
It's up to 4.7.
But like,
I
what was it
considered lying.
before?
I considered saying it was up to 4.8, but I want to be honest with you guys. I had a lower rating.
Is that a low rating though? Like, what would is that?
Check yours.
Mine's high. People really like me in their Ubers.
I was looking up reasons, even in the Uber app, they'll tell you why your rating could be low. And I always knew that like the main reason is if you make them wait.
Is 4.7 low?
It's pretty low. What, do you know yours, Tessa? You're probably like a 4.95.
You're a 4.98, Tessa? Holy shit.
I mean, the people that answered, obviously, I think people are embarrassed to answer, but I said this is a safe space. I post this on my Instagram story. Most people are like 4.85 up to 5. Listen, you know me. I've been in a million Ubers with you. I'm a courteous rider. Don't start no shit, won't be no shit. Obviously, I've had some issues over the years when they start with me.
Smell bad.
We had to get out of a car on the highway because it smelled so bad. I thought I was going to throw up. That was in Australia. I mean, I've had incidences in the thousands of Uber rides I've taken, but obviously I'm a courteous driver. They have your life in their hands. I want to be a nice person, you know, whatever. That goes without saying. But I mean, I guess I've made them wait a lot. I mean, obviously I used to get a lot drunker. I used to fight with my ex in the Uber.
You love to be late.
I mean,
You tell them you're on the way out the door and you turn back around to go to the bathroom.
I mean, I just used to hover around 4.6 for a while.
Oh.
And it's
up?
not good.
Well, you're learning. You're growing.
I saw that 4.7. I was like, look at the growth.
I'm proud of you.
But I polled people, and we can get into it. I just wanted to read you a couple funny ones. And if you puke in an Uber, forget it.
It's
over for you.
Puked in an Uber?
I've never puked in an Uber.
Uber didn't really exist when I was getting that fucked up. Like by the time Uber, I remember the first like Uber I called. I literally remember like it was like in New York City in East Village. It was like 11 years ago, maybe 11, 12 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I just was sort of, I mean, I've never been like a throw up, I'm so fucked up kind of person.
Yeah. And I mean, they charge you a cleaning fee.
But I have sucked a dick in a yellow cab.
Right.
I've fucked in yellow cabs.
Fucked in a cab.
I've fucked in multiple yellow cabs, Ashley.
You just
multiple.
got out scot-free without a 1-star rating that could
Who are they
tank
gonna
your
tell?
Uber.
What are they going to do? I've fucked in multiple cabs, like straddling somebody, bouncing up and down in the backseat.
But the barricade.
The barricade.
Partition.
Yeah, barricades.
Gotta put the partition
Only with,
up,
I mean, listen,
please.
I'm a lady. Only with the barricade.
Why was saying barricade? It's so intense. When there was a whole ass Beyonce song called Partition. Did you read me a rating?
It's 489.
489. Okay.
But like that's actually crazy. Like when I actually think about it, I had my mouth on a dick
Crazy.
in a car, and that guy was looking in his rear view mirror, watching me suck a dick, while whatever guy was back there with me probably like fist bumped or like air high fived.
You're
with the
welcome,
guy.
sir.
Yeah.
Also, Raina, in all the responses, all the hundreds of responses, not one person said my rating is low because I sucked a dick. So
I feel like that. Listen, that's subjective. Some people might like that.
Yeah.
Like some drivers might be like, it's been a long shift and I'm tired and I want some action.
But also, guys, don't do that because, well, don't do that with a woman driver. That's a sex offense.
Also, yellow cabs just feel a little different because the seats are plastic and leather.
They're
and, like,
made
you
for
can hose
fucking.
them down.
You
like
hose them
like
down.
I'm not hosing off the back seat of like a cloth seat Toyota Corolla.
Right,
you know,
right.
you can't come on those.
But a few I just thought were funny. One of my followers said 4.86. I did receive a warning email once after a blacked out evening. It was my 20s. 4.8. One fucking wild night hit my score hard. I swear one night my ex and I were fighting in the Uber. But that's our business. I mean, you're welcome. You get to listen to this drama.
What a dream! I'd give you extra points for that.
But he like jumped out of the car. It was like
the Uber driver or your boyfriend?
the Uber driver got out of the car at a stoplight. We drove it home.
He's like, this is your guys' car now. You are dead.
No, he like jumped out of the car. I mean, we were
Was
so
it moving?
dramatic. No, I think it was like stopped it. It was probably moving, knowing him.
He really showed you. He got out of the car
He
in the
tucked
middle of
and
the night.
rolled,
He's
yes.
like, I'm going to pay for this, and you take the car home, and I'm just going to sit here and pout.
An RIP to him. No, I'm kidding.
He died.
Yeah, but I mean, most people here are like 4.8 8 and up. Oh, here it is. Here we go, Raina. Here's a Rainal energy. It's somehow still 4.9 after I let a guy finger bang me at 3 a.m. The driver gave me 5 stars. First of all, you don't know that they rated you that. You can't see your rating.
Can you per?
I don't think so. You can't. I would love to know where I got these low ratings.
I would love to know. Listen, you know me, and
the
like
driver still gave me 5 stars, bitch. You don't know that.
You
but
know
he
how like
did.
lazy I am. Like, there's been so many times that specifically you or my brother have been like, "This is an unacceptable customer service experience, and you should say something." And I'm like, "Yeah, I totally will." Like, I just don't. Like, I'll be in the back seat of a car that like they're driving too fast, and have their seatbelt on. I'm a little scared. Maybe it smells bad. I will never say anything because I'm so lazy. And because of that, my rating should be a 5.0.
Yeah.
I'm not bothering no one.
Right. I mean, they say you get low ratings for being late, for slamming doors. But we've had some bad Uber drivers. Remember that guy was so rude to us? And he was like, don't lift your suitcase out of the car. And we were like, well, you picked us up at the airport. Maybe you should get the suitcase.
Well, that guy's car, I purposely like dinged his car with the suitcases because he was so rude.
He was so rude. I mean, I have no problem being like, could you turn down your heavy metal a smidge? You know, like, and especially back in the days when I was taking way more Uber X. I mean, there was chaotic rides and there was rides where you felt unsafe.
Religious music. You can't make me listen to this.
Religious radio.
When it's like Jesus songs, I'm like, come on, man. Come on.
Some of those Jesus songs,
they slap.
They slap. Some of those are a bop. Because I did have one time. Have you ever accidentally been like bopping along to like a Christian song? Because they can slap.
I don't think so.
No, one time I was coming in from the airport. I was coming in from JFK, and I was like, I don't hate this. And you think it's just a pop song, and then you hear like, "He saves," and you're like, okay.
Did you Shazam it? Save it? Do people still use Shazam? Is that a thing?
Yeah.
I do. I still use it.
Every once in a while. And then one more I'll read. She said 4.5. No idea why, because I talk. You talk to them? Can you imagine that's why they're rating you low, because you talk to them? Because we're always like, don't talk to me, you know, and they're like, she talked too much to me. Can you imagine being that bitch?
That's the opposite of what I'm like. You say, how are you to me? And I say good. And that's where I want the conversation to end. I don't need to know how long you were an Uber driver for or what you do in your free time. And that's the New Yorker in me. Like, I'm not trying to talk. In LA, every car you get into, they want to tell you about that they're really an actor, that they're really a model. This is not their full-time job. They think they're going to get I don't care.
New York Uber drivers, cab drivers, stop talking to me. If you're in a small town in Dewey Beach, I'll always talk to them because it's like some retired guy. That's his side hustle.
Someone's mom.
He picks you up in his F-150. I'm like, I got to talk to him.
Oh, Charleston, they will talk your ear off.
I don't know if I ever told you this. This woman picked me up one time, 5:30 a.m. 5:30 a.m.
Okay.
I got to get to the airport. I had a 7:30 flight. She picks me up. She goes, "Have you had coffee yet?" I was like, "What? Did I just hear? No, not yet." Did you want to stop? I was thinking we could stop for coffee. I never told you this. Right? She said, I know
we could go get coffee together.
She was like such a hippy dippy LA woo woo. She was like, yeah, I just looked, there's a Starbucks. I don't even think they're open at 5:30. She was like, I just looked, there's a Starbucks drive-thru around here. I was thinking we could stop and get coffee. I was like, ma'am, I'm in a rush. I'm heading to the airport. You think I have time to stop and have a coffee with you? And she was just like, I don't know. I just had this idea that like we could get a coffee.
She's like, you look like you'd be fun to be friends with. Are you in a rush?
Yeah.
I love when you get into a car to suitcase and they're like, are you in a hurry?
No,
I'm not in a hurry.
I have nowhere to be.
I woke up at this hour so I could take my time.
There are no time limits on anywhere I have to go, what time I have to check this bag, what time I have to board an airplane.
They'll be on your schedule. I'll just let Delta know you wanted to go get a coffee. And then I did have a woman drive me from my place over to the beach like a while back, and she was talking my ear off, and I was like, please shut the fuck up. But then I was trying to like muffle my cough. I had like a little cough, and she's like, got a cough? And I was like, no. And she goes, it sounds bronchial. And I was like, what? And she's like, it sounds like a bronchial infection. And she like gave me like 3 different medicines to take, and like that was what it was.
Okay, I didn't tell you this either. This was so embarrassing. So I was on a plane recently, and I wasn't picking my nose, but I was like,
you do like to pick your nose.
Well, listen, I am team nose pick. And I wasn't digging in there, but I was kind of doing probably this, you know,
getting the crusties out of the top.
Why did a flight attendant pass me a tissue?
She's like, bitch, I have to clean your boogers up when you get up and leave.
Rena, shut up. I'm not wiping boogers on the seat. Some of y'all are.
Some people are.
The fact that I was just doing a little, probably, was always drippy and came around.
She's like, your problem's going to be my
Handed
mess
me
later.
a tissue.
I love that.
Busted.
I love your flight attendant stories. All right, let's thank some of our partners. Thanks to Article. Get $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more at article.com/GGE. And Rocket Money. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions at rocketmoney.com/GGE. Last but not least for me, Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order at liquidiv.com with code GGE.
Yes, and thanks to Nutrafol, get $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping at Nutrafol.com with code GGE10. Blueland, we love Blueland. Get 15% off your first order at blueland.com/GGE. And thank you to Built. Get points by paying rent at joinbuilt.com/GGE.
I did want to tell you, just like, because we talked a couple weeks ago about your like neon orange toenails. And like asking the nail salon to like change your color or whatever. And so I just want to tell you, I did something brave yesterday. I got my nails done and I decided to do like red toes, red nails.
The best color.
And I wanted to do this Ferrari color, but they did my toes and then that guy left. And then the girl who does my nails was finishing my nails. And I looked down, she goes, you don't like it. And I was like, it's a little orange.
No, Rena.
And she was like, we can change it. And I was like,
she knows who you are.
Do that?
No, she saw the clip.
She probably did.
She saw you coming.
Because she knew you. So she's definitely like watched the clip. And listen, she was like, it's no big deal. I'll just put a coat on top of it. And she changed the color.
Really?
I was so brave. I asked her to please change it. This is chili pepper.
Perfect.
It's not Ferrari. It was just a little too orange. And honestly, my fingernails I could deal with. My toes, knowing that I'm signing up for like a month of a certain color, I can't handle it. It's not for me. So I just wanted you to know I was brave. And then I apologized so many times. Like, I think I was giving her the ick. She was like, please stop.
Yeah. She's like, this is fine.
This is embarrassing
just
for you.
Reflect it in my tip.
I did. I like really, I tipped 30%.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm so glad. I thought you were bringing up my neon orange toes because we have a neon launch today, but you really went a different direction.
Speaking of neon,
we are so excited to announce a new limited edition toy for Vibes only. This is our Lucy 2 in 3 neon sleeves.
So this is one of our best sellers. It's 4 vibrators in one. So I've never seen anybody do this before.
Nobody's doing this.
We're the only ones doing this.
No, no one's doing this.
It's a beautiful rose gold bullet, and then there's 3 sleeves. So essentially 4 vibrators.
Yes. So you have your bullet, which you can use raw dog if you want, and we made the button hot pink. So that is a new color too. And so then you have your 3 silicone sleeves. So these just go right on the top of the bullet and it really transforms the bullet into a whole different type of vibrator. So again, you can use the bullet separate or these other 3. We have the neon yellow and those are going to be the bunny ears. So these are just these little silicone strokers. They really like surround your clit. It's a crazy feeling. It's really unique and really hot. And then we have our finger loop in hot pink. This is one of my favorite partner toys. So you just slide the finger loop on top of the bullet. Again, now it's going to match the buttons. That's going to be your hot pink toy. And this is something your partner can wear and then they can just hit the clit and it's got this textured finger pad. It feels amazing. So good for partner play. And then we have in neon green, the mini wand head. So this is really one of the main ones I throw in my bag on like a solo trip. Obviously I'm going to bring the finger loop if I'm going to be with my partner, but I love to just put this mini wand head on top of the bullet and you just have this perfect little petite toy and it like really packs a punch. It's not loud. A lot of those little bullets are like super loud because you got to get a lot of power in like a small device, but ours isn't. And this is the Lucy 2. We named the original Lucy after the daughter I'll never have. And then we revamped into the Lucy 2. And now this is the Lucy Neon. So the same sleeves as the Lucy 2, but in neon colors, limited edition. And because you guys have been asking, we are selling just the sleeves, very limited run. So we don't have a lot of these, but you guys have always asked, like if I own the Lucy, I have the bullet, can I get these sleeves? So you can buy those in a little value pack.
Yeah. So this is one of my favorite toys we sell for travel, for partner play.
Yes.
Throw it in your car, throw it in your purse.
Yes.
If you want to masturbate on road trips. And it's so versatile and a bunch of different sensations. Packaging is beautiful, so it's an incredible gift to give another person. And
hot pink packaging, like on the inside, like everything's different.
Yes.
So this is just really the first time we've dropped like a neon collection.
You guys let us know what you think of it. I mean, we're really excited about it. We've wanted to do this for a while, and we have lots of fun stuff coming in the fall, new toys, but this is our limited neon drop, so get that at vibesonly.com. And of course, our app connects to all the toys. You can control it with a remote control, long distance, erotic audio, all the things. So Vibes Only.
Yes.
Okay, so I've been like threatening to get a skincare routine for years.
Oh my God.
There's tons of stuff wrong with my body, but like my skin is really good. I'm
is.
very blessed with
Yeah.
like middle of the road, not a lot of pores. Like it's not dry, it's not oily, whatever. I've water. I don't wash my face. Like I don't do anything.
This is a crazy thing to bring up on this episode today with Dr. Barrett.
Well,
Like he's listening to this, like, what the fuck?
It
I didn't know it was this bad.
came from him.
Okay.
So I really have used only water. So does Kristen Cavallari. We're the same. And some makeup remover some of the time. That's it. I don't do anything. So I was just like so bored the last few weeks. And because Dr. Barrett he talks a lot in this episode about like needing retinol and like different stuff that you put on your face. For the last couple weeks, you've been out of town. I've been really bored. I was like, I guess I'll get a skincare routine. So I got a bunch of stuff from like SkinCeuticals and different stuff that he recommended. But
Okay.
I have like a nighttime 4 or 5 steps and a morning 4 or 5 steps.
What? Raina, that's too much. You went like 0 to 100.
Yes, I have serums, I have retinol, and I have magic cream, I have eye cream. So
What, Charlotte Tilbury?
Yeah.
That's the best.
Okay, here's my question. I feel like
Oh my
I'm
God.
being waterboarded. It's so much liquid. Like I'm so wet at the end of it. Like, okay, so at night, for example, I'm
Okay.
doing like CE Freelum. I don't know how you say it. It's a SkinCeuticals like serum. I
Okay.
use that. I use the triple lipid restore from SkinCeuticals. And then I use Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream. And then I use eye cream. I've also washed my face with Dr. Barrett's
Zio. That's
Zio face wash. But like it's 4 things on my face and I feel like I'm drowning myself. I'm like water. Like, are you so wet at the end of your routine? Are you spreading it out longer than I am? Like, I'm just doing like back to back to back.
I mean, I've always felt like I've never been like a 2 serum gal. Like, I don't know. I've always had this thing that they like cancel each other out. They probably don't. I'm not a dermatologist, but I just, I do my red light. Sometimes I do a peel. I do these peel pads. So sometimes I'll do that.
Okay.
And then I do my red light. And then I do my eye cream. I use cosmetics. I use like incredible OptiCrystal eye cream that I've posted about before. And then I do a serum. I mix it up. I have a retinol and I have a vitamin C one as well. And then I do my moisturizer. And sometimes I just do eye cream and moisturizer. Like I don't do 4 steps every night. And I just always feel like 2 serums is like 1 too many. But I mean, if you're doing that, I'm sure you look great and I'm sure it works. 4 things is a lot.
It's too much, right?
I mean, for you, 0 to 4. Like
And face wash.
this is so funny. This is also big Rainal energy. Like from nothing to everything. Like I would have just liked to see you with a cleanser and a moisturizer. Why don't we start small? Yeah, of course you feel like this. I mean, your skin is also not as dry as mine. I mean, everything I put on my skin, it just soaks it up. It's like a sponge, especially since I moved to LA. It's even drier out here. So I've never had the feeling of like, I'm too wet. I mean, but like in Hawaii, I felt so like moisturized and it was so humid and I did feel like wet and I liked it. Because your skin
feel
glows.
wet and you like, I feel like I look dewy. I go to bed wet.
Yes, dewy is the goal.
Okay, so that's normal. Like, am I supposed to like put a serum on, let it dry, put lotion on?
I let it sit.
You let it sit.
Yeah.
Because like otherwise, why don't I just take it all into one trough, mix it up,
So
and dump
funny.
it on
You're
my
not letting
face?
it sit at all. You're just like one after the other.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
I'm ready to go to bed.
Yeah, you're too smooth.
Really,
My feet are too smooth. Okay. Well, I'm proud of you.
Thank you. I really have been keeping up with it.
Yeah, we'll go up after and we'll maybe like pare it down a little bit or alternate. Because a lot of people believe in skin cycling, which again, I just don't want to speak on it. I'm not a doctor, but some people like don't do it all at once. They do like their retinol one night, their vitamin C the next night. Like they skin cycle it out.
I'm doing retinol like 2 nights a week.
Okay.
I'm
that's
not
good.
doing, and you're not supposed to use it that much.
Yeah.
This is my first day with the skincare routine. I'm like, you're not supposed to use it that much. Do you know that?
Yeah.
So I wanted to tell you I was doing that.
Okay. Well, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Okay. So we are going to talk about a hot topic.
So Tessa found this article in Bustle, and we just love the topic. And the topic is, if you and your best friend hug, are you actually that close? And Ashley is like, see, we are friends. I never touch you. So I'll read you a quote from the article. The theory that best friends never hug is making the rounds basically on TikTok, but it's speculated that best friends never hug are often closer for longer than friends who hug all the time because it means they don't overstep each other's boundaries.
Shut up with the boundaries. Listen, I don't feel like that's the issue. Like, but if you feel like that, that's fine. But let's take the boundaries out of it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think a lot of people think of hugging as overstepping their boundaries, and that's coming from someone who doesn't really like to hug. But if you feel that way, that's fine. I think it's more of this other theory. I think they mentioned in the article that you have a more sibling relationship.
So that's the next thing I was going to read you is when you think about it, true BFFs often have a strong sibling energy, and that might explain why you aren't tangled in a constant embrace. It's interesting because like You and I don't hug ever.
Quarterly. We had that time when I was hugging a lot.
Yeah,
Remember when I got off the pill?
Yeah, that one time you were hugging a lot, but now
No,
you
Raina,
just
I was.
you do the ass out, pat on the back thing.
Yeah.
You've never like really hugged me.
I am a person who, I don't know what this is. Maybe it comes from some trauma that I'm unaware of, but I really only like to be physically intimate with my romantic partner. I've never been a really want to cuddle up with my girlfriends. Even as a kid, my mom and dad would want to be on me and have me cuddle up. I just have never really been into it. And I cannot be on top of my boyfriend enough. I don't smother him, but we're very physically close. I really like it. I really like affection. I really like to be cuddled up with him. And so I don't know. I've always kind of been like that.
I am very huggy, touchy all over
totally.
people, but you are my only friend that is not really you're not really a best friend. You are a family member to me. You're a different tier. I think about my other best, Melanie and I, we hold hands when we walk down the street.
I was just going to ask about you and Melanie.
We link arms when we walk down the street.
But that's just your personalities.
That is.
Again, I think this has nothing to do with the strength of your friendship. I know best friends, even ones that have that sibling closeness, that will be cuddling up on the couch, tickling each other's arms. But also, I'm sure there are some siblings out there that are more like that. Sisters that are never touch, and then sisters that are closer physically. I like the discussion, but I don't think there's a lot of correlation to other things. I think this is very specific to the person. I think if I wanted to be on you all the time, you would take it.
Fuck yeah.
I just think it's so personal, but I do also understand, because I think there's also that meme about friends not having pictures together, and that applies to some friends, but you and I all our pictures are together,
well, I was going to bring that up because Melanie and I don't have one photo together.
That's so funny.
Maybe 3 photos over 12 years we've taken together.
That is crazy. There's friends you take pictures with and friends you don't. A lot of these things are clearly just for clickbait and, TikTok and views and stuff like that. But I still think it's funny to discuss.
Also, I think it depends the amount of time you spend with somebody. I'm just with you every day.
That's totally it.
I'm not going to hug you when I walk into your house. I just saw you 10 minutes ago.
That's so true. I'm always going to really want to give Corey a big hug. That's my best friend since I was a kid, and we don't see each other a lot. But yeah, it'd be fucking weird if I hugged you all the time. I just saw you. Also, the height is a little weird. When I hug you, I have to bring you in I'm Mama Bear.
I agree. Yes. The height,
I'm not, no offense. I like hugging my tall friends more.
You hate short people. That's why you won't hug me. I like hugging my tall friends more.
I feel
short people are people.
We don't.
You've got to hunch over. No, I'm with you. Listen, I understand what you're saying. Short people, we're more cuddly.
Yeah.
And you hate us. Emily is my short friend. Her and I were always all over each other.
Yeah.
Jeremy, also very prickly. We don't touch. We would never touch.
Can you imagine touching Jeremy? I love when, I haven't seen him in a while and he comes to a show or he's here and I know we're not hugging.
I love watching the two of you when you walk into a room together. I'm like, what are they going to do? He's like, hi.
We've never... No, but sometimes it's you don't know what to do. And I know I never have to even worry about it with him.
There's friends that are up the middle and I'm we'll defer to the person who's a little more prickly. But I always want to hug. I want to be on top of everybody. Yeah, I would be on top of everybody all the time.
Yeah, there's studies about people who come at you and they're I'm a hugger.
I want to initiate the hug.
Oh, okay.
I want to be in charge of deciding whether or not we're going to hug. I don't care if you're a hugger. I might not be a hugger.
Sometimes when someone comes at you with that I'm a hugger energy, they say it. They always say it. It can be cringe, but it can be really sweet. I have people in my life I'm close to that have done that the first time I met them, or they do it, But it's so funny to think of the alternative. Me just standing back, I'm not a hugger. Someone comes at me or someone comes at you, I'm a hugger. I'm not.
Don't do that. Don't
you
touch me.
Do this dance.
But I don't think there's a direct correlation between how you are with friends and how you are with a romantic partner. Almost everybody that I know that I would say is a little prickly with friends, don't touch them, don't hug them. They're all affectionate with their romantic partner. I don't really know. I know one couple that we are friends with that she says he is not affectionate. And I'm surprised because he seems cuddly.
Maybe I should dive deeper into this. I am fascinated by that because you'd think it would correlate. You think that you would just kind of be an affectionate person or not, not affectionate with your partner, but I feel like I am overly close with my romantic partner,
I seek that out in people. I like it when you have this one thing from somebody that no one's gonna get. I love that so much that you're yeah, they're a dick to everybody, but they're amazing to me. I like that energy kind of. I'm not a real dick to other people, but I like being the only person you're smushy with.
Yeah, but that's funny because Sparkle Eyes is the same way. You think he's ever been like, I'm a hugger? No.
No.
But people like to hug him. People love to hug him. Like,
Really?
Yeah, I think he's tall
He's a
and he
tall
really
man.
brings you in, and
Yeah.
he's like a really good hugger. So, like, sometimes he'll have like a friend going through something. I'm like, they need one of your hugs.
Okay, but he hugs me, and it's so funny because he's so tall. Like his arms naturally just wrap around the top of my head.
They're so long. He like wraps around twice.
He just like he can't reach the rest of my body. He can't bend. It's naturally around my head.
Yeah.
It's nice. Tessa, do you hug?
Mm-hmm.
Do you hug your sister?
No.
You don't hug your sister. Okay. You don't hug your sister. Do you hug your like girlfriends?
Yeah, I hug my friends, like most of my friends. Like,
She hugs her friends.
every time I see them or like say goodbye, we hug.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, God, I'm hugging my friends all the time. Don't get it twisted. I'm not Jeremy.
Yeah.
But I think when we have our girlfriends here, we haven't seen them in a little bit of time. Like, I'm always hugging them. But I probably could go without.
I would sit at a bar, like linked arm in arm with a friend, my head on their shoulder, like, and I would go through a whole 2 hours at a bar like that. I just, I like being really intimate with people.
I know it is interesting. I mean, I guess Corey is probably my friend that I just could do that with a little more. Like, we're just maybe a little bit more affectionate. I don't know. Again, I just think this is all about the type of relationship with the person, the type of person you are. And I just think it does not correlate to closeness or longevity of your friendship.
But photos, maybe. I don't know. I mean, you and I are in professional settings together, and we have all the same friends, so we're in every photo together.
Yeah.
I have to like look at my feed sometimes and be like, Ashley's on this a little too much.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Too much.
Yeah. So anyway, let us know in the comments on YouTube, guys, if you are hugging your best friend. I just think this is funny. A quote from the article. Under this one video, it said one anti-hugger commented, "I gave my best friend of nearly 10 years a parting side hug at her birthday party and was like, I don't know why I did that. We talk about our deepest traumas and yet cannot have any physical affection." As if to support the no hug theory, someone else wrote, "My best friend and I hugged all the time and now we don't talk." I mean, again, it's like
No
person to
correlation.
person, but that is very me and you.
Totally.
Like, no one's closer than us. And like sometimes we hug and we're like, that was weird.
I feel emotionally hugged. You know, like, and I feel like people show empathy, sympathy in different ways. Like, some people really do show it through physical. It's like, how do you want to receive love? Like, some people just want you to be close to them, near them, while you like cry and hold their hand and cry on their shoulder. But like, you're somebody I'm going to like beat a situation to death with, you know?
Yeah.
Emotional hugging.
I have one friend who is such a tight hugger. Like, you got to brace yourself.
You don't see it coming.
I'm like, there's going to be a point where I'm like, you can't do that. You'll crack a rib.
I've
Like,
had
you
to-
can't
I've
hug
had
me
to talk
that
to her.
tight. Yes.
She doesn't know her own strength.
She doesn't know her own strength. And she is like so petite and she wants to hug you so tight.
It's just, I'm uncomfortable. I've had to like be like, please don't touch me like
I've
that.
kind of been like, ugh, like it comes out.
It hurts. You don't see it coming. She's like my height.
Yeah. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation. We're so excited for Dr. Barrett today. We're just going to talk about some of our partners. I am telling you guys about Blue Land. I was just cleaning up last night with my Blue Land all-purpose cleaner, and then I ran my dishwasher with my dishwasher tablet. I did my laundry with my laundry tablet. I mean, everything that I clean with is Blue Land. And we just love it really for a lot of reasons, but they are on a mission to eliminate single-use plastic by reinventing cleaning essentials to be better for you and better for the planet with the same powerful clean. It doesn't have those chemical smells. It's going to be better than standard detergent pods. Detergent pods are wrapped in plastic, so that ends up in the oceans and the rivers and the soil. And so we really like that aspect of it too. And what you do is like you get their forever bottles and you can buy one of their starter kits, one of their best sellers. And then for the cleaners, for example, you just drop a tablet in and with water, and then you have your cleaner. And then of course the dishwasher and the toilet bowl. We love the toilet bowl cleaner as well. There's hand soap, laundry, like I said, dishwasher. You can do with the dishwasher and laundry duo, tablet trio, the clean essentials pack, the clean sweet kit. Just really get in there and check it out. We just love it so much. I mean, Blue Land is trusted in over 1 million homes, including ours, and you can even get more savings by buying refills in bulk or setting up a subscription. I've been having so many subscriptions lately. I have my toilet paper now on subscription.
You do?
Yeah, I mean, I've
Wow.
had my like body lotion on subscription forever. Like, I just love to like know that it's coming. And so Blue Land has a special offer for listeners right now. Get 15% off your first order by going to blueland.com/GGE. You won't want to miss this. Blueland.com/GGE for 15% off. That's blueland.com/GGE to get 15% 20% off.
Yes, and you guys know that I and Ashley are obsessed with, the interiors of our homes, personal design, and that's why we both love Article so much. I love everything they offer. They believe in delightful design for every home, and thanks to their online-only model, they have some really delightful prices as well. So you'll go online, you'll see what they have. There's tons of different styles. They have mid-century modern, coastal. I like industrial. I like some boho stuff. They have Scandi. And then you'll see everything is laid out on the site. You can see how to style all of it. But one of the things I really love is their outdoor furniture. And I think that there is such a range of like quality and pricing in outdoor furniture, but their pricing is great and they have really beautiful stuff. I'm obsessed with this Macaulay Lily white lounge chair. It just looks really stunning. They have all these different wood tables you can pair it with. Lots of just different mixing and matching for outdoor. So I love that. Also, if you think you're going to be entertaining more in the fall, great time to update your living room. But everything is really balanced between style, quality, and price. They offer fast and affordable shipping across the US and Canada, and they won't leave you waiting around. Actually, I've had crazy experiences with other furniture companies.
Don't even. You can't, like, to live that life when you're like, oh, it'll show up when it shows up. No, they would never. They really let you know. They almost over communicate. I don't mind it.
They really do.
Yeah.
And their delivery is fantastic. So
best.
when you pick the delivery time, they'll send updates every step of the way. You can track them as they come to you. They dropped off a couch for me recently, and it just was like so seamless, so easy. And right now, Article is offering our listeners $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more. To claim, you'll visit article.com/GGE, and the discount will be automatically applied at checkout. That's article.com/GGE for $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more.
Okay, I'm so excited to talk about Built. I was just telling a friend this the other day. They are moving and they were talking about that they're going to be paying more money in rent and they're just like frustrated. They feel like they're throwing money away. A lot of people have that mindset. It can feel really painful to write those rent checks and you can feel like you're stuck in this loop of payments, just watching your money vanish. And so it's so cool that you can get rewards on your rent payments. So this is Built. Built is breaking ground as the first rewards program that hooks you up with points on your rent. Even if you're still rocking the old school rent check vibes, Built Rewards has got your back. They'll mail the check for you. It's like having a personal rent paying assistant. And then every month, pay your rent and watch the Built points roll in. So this is just amazing. I mean, Rain and I use our rewards so much, like on different cards that we have and everything. And so we just add this to something that you can get rewards with. You can use points to jet off on a dream vacation, put your points towards a flight or hotel stay with 500 plus airlines and 700,000 plus hotels and properties. Use your points to sweat it out. Redeem your points to book fitness studio classes. You can also use your points towards a future rent payment or towards a future down payment on a home. That's so crazy. You're really renting to own. And so you can pay rent hassle-free through the Built Rewards app. The app is great. Your rent game just got a major upgrade. Built points have been consistently ranked the highest value point currency by the Points Guy and Bankrate. The Points Guy, he's the top. Yeah. So this is just, it's incredible. I mean, the fact that you can put your rent payments towards a flight, points towards a flight, or hotels, fitness, all those things. So earn points by paying rent right now when you go to joinbuilt.com/GGE. That is joinbilt.com/GGE. Make sure to use our URL so they know we sent you. Joinbuilt.com/GGE to start earning points with your rent payments today.
Okay.
Let's get into it.
All right, guys, we are so excited to welcome this guest here today. I'm going to go a little rogue on him. He is a board-certified plastic surgeon. He is responsible for my boobs, my jawline, my Botox, my filler, really all of it, my whole face. I love this man. I love everything he does. And I want him to kind of talk about his philosophy and what he does. He has 3.5 million followers across TikTok, Instagram, all of his social channels. I really can't get enough of it. We're so excited to have him here. Please welcome to the show, Dr. Daniel Barrett.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I'm very excited to be here. And I feel like I'm doing a house call here. It's so good to see you guys in your own natural element versus the office and gowns and your regular clothes. It's amazing.
It is weird to see you in this studio. Like I walked in, I was like, what's it going to be like to see him in a setting? But it still feels fine because you're in the scrubs.
Okay,
if you were
good.
in like jeans, I'd be like, this is too weird.
It's not working.
We can't. Yeah. We're out of our element.
This is one of the few times I'm with you and I don't have to show you my boobs.
But yes, he is our official surgeon here in LA. You haven't done surgery on me, but you've done all my Botox, we do a little tiny bit of filler. We've done a lip flip and things like that.
Yeah, I think we're doing Daxxify, right?
I'm on the Daxxify.
Yeah. So the new stuff.
Daxxify listens, so we want to shout them out. They've emailed
before.
Really?
Okay, cool.
Yeah, the brand.
Yeah, I have no affiliation with that. I just think it's better. And you walked in today and you have this nice glow from it.
Thank
It's
you.
just like some of the newer stuff we keep in touch with, and I think it works really well.
So I just want to gas you up and say
okay.
you really, I want you to talk about your approach, but
Sure.
you really really have such a holistic approach to everything you do. You want to really go slow, do a little bit of everything. You want to do great scar treatment, tell people what type of supplements to take and how to diet so that they have like the best results with everything. And I would love for you to talk about it, because for me, in my experience, and I've had other surgeons, this is my third breast augmentation, it was a phenomenal experience for me with you.
Well, thank you. I love to hear that. And I think it's, I think if you look at like what your end goal is, right? My end goal is to make people feel better about their bodies, right? That's what it is. To get confidence, whether it's through doing surgery or through other types of interventions that we could do for people. We want them to kind of feel better about their bodies. And so if you look at it from a procedural standpoint only, you're missing out on the other half of everything else. So like, if someone goes out and parties every night and drinks till 4 a.m. and then they come in and they want me to fill their under eye area, yes, I can do that. But, maybe we should look at some of these lifestyle factors that can have a better impact on your beauty and appearance and perhaps your confidence than doing injectables all the time. So, I look at it from like a big picture perspective. And I feel like, I'm like, what would I want in my situation? Yeah, I want to get guidance on some certain things. And there's multi-factors to that. Like if you're going to get surgery, yeah, you need some things to help you recover. Like you may want some alternative pain medications, right? You may want to have things to kind of help your gut after the antibiotics, right? Those are all things that we kind of put together for people so that it's more of like a bigger picture type of experience and benefits people.
I mean, I am not a person who drinks and parties as much as I used to. I'm a moderate drinker and I try to get more sleep and stay hydrated. But even just those weekends, I look different on the Monday. And I'm looking at my eyes like, I need an upper bleph. And then like a few days later, I'm like, no, I don't. You can really look different even after just a week of more sleep, more water, less alcohol, eating better. Like, I think it's important. And I understand some people don't want to hear that. They want to be like, no, I want to live my same life and I want you to fix me. Yeah. And that's fine too. But we do that too. I like your holistic approch. Yeah. And let's be real.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it's just like alcohol is probably one of the biggest toxins that you can put in your body. And it's actually we're moving in the other direction, which I think is good. Mm-hmm. People are, recognizing the stuff that they're eating and drinking may or may not be good for them and good for their skin and good for their beauty. And so I think we're headed in the right direction, with a lot of those things, nutrition-wise. So
can we talk about just sort of like big picture, getting all of these procedures done, the link between like this pursuit of perfection and confidence?
Yeah. So the pursuit of perfection. So
I feel like that will make me confident finally.
Right. There's a fine line between having something that's kind of always kind of bothered you versus this kind of perfectionist, borderline, body dysmorphic kind of behavior where someone is obsessing about something that most people may not even notice. And that's a different story, right? So, what I've told people, I said, look, if there's something that bothers you in the mirror and you think about it every day, or you think about it for like 6 months or something, and there's something you could do about it, do something about it. If you're going to multiple doctors and they're all telling you that, hey, I don't see what you're talking about, then you may want to kind of recalibrate and think, all right, maybe this is something that's not really real and I'm kind of making this up. There's a distortion that happens. So when people come into my office, they're like, I want to feel my lips. I want to feel my lips. I want to feel my lips. They're looking in the mirror and all they see is their lips. Meanwhile, they have like bags under their eyes, they have wrinkles and everything else. I'm like, okay, I know there's a selective focus that happens for people, and that's why it's good to go to a qualified individual that can kind of like, all right, if your goal is to kind of look better, maybe we should talk about some of these other areas. And then, if you're overfilling in these particular areas, it actually can look worse. And so I try to guide people kind of subtly and carefully to do that, so that they're making smart decisions about their appearance and their bodies.
I do think you see people obviously go in all different directions, but for me, and I know I can say it as opposed to you being like, what you need is a nose job. But like for me personally, I think that like I was looking at a bunch of different things in my face, and what I really needed was a rhinoplasty needed, whatever. What I really made a huge change, and it was something that had bothered me. And it was kind of wild to me how much I feel like it changed my whole face in terms of looking younger immediately. Wow. It almost looked like I'd had filler and this and that. My lips looked different. My smile looked different. And I think some people go a different direction and they're like, no, I just want to fill everything and do all this, when maybe there's something else. I'm not trying to drive people towards like a major surgery, but that was my personal experience.
Right. Yeah. And I'd say that that's the majority of situations, right? The majority of situations is like, okay, yeah, like I've got this kind of like bump on my nose. I don't like it. I look into certain side views and I see it. Other people notice it. They say, yeah, it's a real thing. And if it's, rhinoplasty is a very common procedure and it's been shown to make people feel more confident. Like it's kind of funny. I do head to toe plastic surgery and I kind of joke. I say, so let me back up. When you said, what do I need? Right. I always tell people, I was like, you don't need anything. Like you're breathing, you're,
Right.
You're like, you're not dying. You don't need anything. Right. And so I'm like, is there something that bothers you? Then maybe we can fine tune things. And I always make that clarification because nobody needs anything. And I'm there just to kind of like, to make some slight modifications to people and whether it's a nose or breast or whatever. But I do know that there is this, and it feels weird. We live in a world that's very, very superficial in some ways. There's a fashion industry that's designed around a certain body shape and appearance, especially for women. And if you don't have that, it's very frustrating because I do a lot of breast augmentations. They're like, I don't fit into my bras. They come in, the number one thing that women say when they come in, they want breast augmentation is not how they look in the mirror. It's how they fit into clothes. And so I'm just like, all right, so I'm doing surgery so women can feel better about fitting into clothes. And I'm okay with that. That's what they want. But it's just crazy. So we can either change the whole fashion industry of the world or you just get a boob job, So it's like, if I'm going to do a boob job, I want to do the best possible job I can to give that person the best result and have like no complications and everything else. And so that's what I focus on because I'm only one person. I feel like that's all I can do. We could try to change societal norms, but that's a bigger conversation and perhaps another podcast. But what I do notice with confidence is that when I do these augmentations or do these surgeries, I do these little things, even Botox, like the confidence level just skyrockets for a lot of my patients. And that translates into success. And I don't know what that is. I don't have a study on it, but like, someone gets a breast, they've always been insecure about their breast augmentation. They never want to show their breasts to their boyfriends or whatever else. They get breast augmentation. All of a sudden they're confident. They get a boyfriend, they get married, they have kids. It's just like, it's like a domino effect. It's like, I'm not saying that that's what people need to do, but I've noticed that and it's powerful. So
it is. And we always say the secret or the trick to really try to love yourself before.
Yes, I do agree with that. Like, trust me, I am a plastic surgeon.
Oh,
so
totally.
I deal in these things that are definitely fake, right? I don't want them to look fake, but they are. They're putting silicone implants in somebody, or we're doing filler, or we're doing Botox. It's not a typical natural thing, but like, where do you draw the line? Like, we put on makeup, we go to the gym to look better, feel better about ourselves, So, but 100% people, body positivity. Yes, I always try to support that. There's other plastic surgeons that I see, and I have patients come to my office and they've been to other plastic surgery offices, and they're like, "Yeah, the doctor made me feel so negative about myself that I need this, I have to do this," and they're adding on all this other stuff, and it just makes me feel really icky. It gives us a bad name.
I wanted to talk about that too because I think some people have this. But maybe not irrational, because I'm sure it exists, but fear that you're going to go to a plastic surgeon and they're going to start circling all your fat and they're going to be telling you like you need this, and then you walk out feeling worse about yourself. You don't do that at all. If there's anything that I've ever talked to you about that I have the slightest bit of hesitation that I feel like you detect and you read people really well, you're like, we're not doing it today. Like we don't need to do it today then. If you don't feel 100%, let's not do it. You certainly aren't forcing procedures on people.
Right.
So.
Well, thanks. Yeah. I mean, some advice to the listeners out there. If there's something you're insecure about and you're going to, and I always kind of remember, so I was like, what would I feel like if I'm coming in here talking about insecurities in my face or in my body? What would I want to experience? And you don't want judgment. You don't want people to say that you look like in any kind of negative way. And if you're getting that feeling, if you're going somewhere, then you need to walk out.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
You need to go see somebody else. And you already walk in saying, I don't like this about myself. Right. You don't want somebody to double that feeling for you or dismiss you or make you feel like it's stupid. And I did suffer from that. And I went to somebody I didn't like and he didn't do a good job. And it was a bad experience for me. And thankfully you fixed it. But I've also, to echo Ashley, never had the experience where you've like added things on and said, we could also do this. Why don't you change this? It's really important to find people that you trust and feel good around.
Thank you. The exception to that is if there's something so glaring and we're already fixing something, and if I don't do it, then it's like I will mention it sometimes. So like sometimes if we do like a rhinoplasty and there's a microneedling, a lot of people don't realize that you could do a chin implant with that. And so if the chin is recessed, so sometimes they'll say, hey, I know you're not interested in your chin, but sometimes people in your situation might do a chin implant. And I'm very careful when I mention stuff like that because I'm not trying to. But if it's like at the same time, if you went to the car repair place and they're like, yeah, we changed your oil, but we noticed that your tire's flat. Okay, yeah, you want to know about your tire that's flat, right? So but it's just how the delivery you do it.
What people are trying to achieve, what they're trying to achieve. They're trying to achieve this profile, this look, and you're there to tell them, the rhinoplasty is not the magical answer. You
Right.
could still potentially be dissatisfied because I know what you're trying to do.
Right.
So here's the other thing.
I feel like for people our age, we saw this Heidi Montag on the cover of every magazine. I got 17 procedures in one day, or however 14, and it sounded so extreme and terrifying. And
Well,
it was,
Extreme Makeover too.
yeah,
The show.
Right, Extreme Makeover. There's shows like that. Remember all those reality shows?
Yeah, it was crazy. The Swan.
And it made it sound so terrifying. And so I think that people are like scared today a little bit to overcorrect. But would you suggest, like, we asked people what they were looking for in terms of plastic surgery input. Would you suggest getting multiple procedures in one day?
It depends. You know, like the mom comes in and they're there for a mommy makeover, and they, you know, if we're talking surgery, yes, it makes sense to do both the breast and the tummy at the same time.
Okay.
If we're coming in for Botox and we want our lips to look a little bit fuller, yeah, we can do the lips at the same time. But especially when it comes to the face, and especially with filler and injectables, I do like to take my time. I don't like to overdo it right at the first go. I normally I'll do a round of injections that I feel like is safe, especially if it's somebody's first time. It's like you don't want to just like freak somebody out and fill their face full of filler and then, you know, say goodbye, you know. So I normally would do something and have them come back in 2 weeks and just check on it, and then we can add more, you know. That way we can take it nice and slow. I can build people's trust so that they, you know, they feel confident and can kind of understand before they really bite off more than they can handle.
So there's certain things you would link at the same time.
Yes.
Others no.
Yeah.
You'd rather over time.
Yeah, but the Heidi Montag thing, that was crazy, right? Because it's just there was things that she was getting done that didn't really even need to be, you know, that were like what, you know,
right.
and it was
Beautiful
excessive. Yeah. So, you know, that comes into more like, you know, another trend that you mentioned before is that people are kind of reversing this overdone kind of look. And I think that's really important. I think my whole base is always, you know, I have my own podcast, A Natural Plastic Surgeon. And it's just like, I really believe in, you know, how's plastic surgery natural? Well, it's not, but we want things to look natural. Like if I do something for an injectable, I don't want people to look like they have a Spock eyebrow. I don't want people to look like their lips have been done or they have bags under their under eye because they're overfilled, right? So same thing with breast augmentation. I don't want someone to go to the beach or the pool and look like they have had a boob job, you know? So that's kind of like my focus. A lot of plastic surgeons are like that too if they're smart. And I just believe in natural form and function and just naturally enhancing things so that you're not a topic of, a TikTok where people talk about how much older you look because you had too much work done. You know?
Okay,
Let's
we want to talk about that,
it.
but we're just going to take a quick break, get right back into it. I'm going to tell you about Rocket Money. So here's what I love about it. I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you why I like it. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps lower your bills so that you can grow your savings. So when they first came to us and I started like reading about it, I read this stat. Most Americans think they spend about $62 per month on subscriptions, but the real number hovers around $300 a month on subscriptions. How much shit do I sign up for and just forget? And then maybe 6 months down the line, I think to like check every single line item on my like credit card. I'm like, oh, I've been paying for this, and you have like no recourse. So Rocket Money is great. And what they do is they just figure out all the subscriptions you're signed up for and they help you cancel them. So nice, easy peasy, very helpful. They'll even try to negotiate lower bills for you by up to 20%. All you have to do is submit a picture of your bill and Rocket Money takes care of the rest. They'll deal with customer service for you. I mean, you guys, they are a one-stop shop.
I know.
I really love it. And you can really like get a handle on your spending, what subscriptions you're signed up for, what your budget is, and then start planning for the future for stuff you actually want. I just found all kinds of subscriptions I didn't know that I was paying for. And I signed up for a lot of TV subscriptions that I'm just for like a minute. And I'm like, I don't want this. And
I
then
know.
I forget. And then I gotcha. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's features. I mean, I could buy so many pairs of shoes with that.
Cancel those unused subscriptions and buy more shoes.
Get Rocket Money and get you a pair of Louboutins.
Yeah.
That's what they cost. Okay. Stop wasting money on things you don't use. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions by going to rocketmoney.com/GGE. That's rocketmoney.com/GGE. rocketmoney.com/GGE.
Okay, I'm telling you about Nutrafol. I saw a comment on one of my recent Instagram reels. It said the Nutrafol is working for you, Ashley. Yeah, so I don't know. My hair's feeling a little flat today. I didn't have my nozzle on my hair dryer. It's no big deal. I had to leave it. It's getting sent today. It's whatever. Don't judge me based on today. But I just really am so thankful to Nutrafol. It is the #1 dermatologist recommended hair growth supplement with over 1 million people seeing thicker, stronger, faster growing hair with less shedding. Okay, so we all know that I had an issue where I had so much shedding and my hair looked completely different and so much thinner. And and now it is really growing back. I take my Nutrafol 4 capsules every single day. And I was hesitant to color my hair because I was like, it can weaken it if you bleach it. And I was just really like, I wanted to color it so bad. I want it lighter. And, you've inspired me, and I usually have lighter hair, and I'm just kind of getting tired of this like natural brunette. And I was like, but I don't want to because I don't want to weaken it. And then I was like, no, my hair is so strong. My hair is so strong now because of Nutrafol. I'm losing so much less hair in the shower. When I blow dry it, like I can tell. And it just feels like so strong that I feel comfortable coloring it. So I just wanted to share that personal story that like it has made me feel so confident in that it is really strong. It's getting longer. It is getting thicker. So this is something I can't recommend enough. Everyone's root causes of hair thinner are different. So a one size fits all approach doesn't work. There's so many different formulas. Nutrafol has multiple formulas that are tailored for whatever you're going through. There's postpartum, menopause, different lifestyles, also plant-based diets, physician formulated with drug-free ingredients. And we love the studies. In a clinical study, 86% of women reported improved hair growth after taking Nutrafol Women's Hair Growth Supplement for 6 months. You'll start to see results about like 3 months in. And of course, it just builds over time. So I can't recommend it enough. I can't imagine my life without it or my hair. Get results you can run your fingers through. For a limited time, Nutrafol is offering our listeners $10 off your first month subscription and free shipping when you go to Nutrafol.com and enter the promo code GGE10. Find out why over 4,500 healthcare professionals and stylists recommend Nutrafol for healthier hair. Nutrafol.com, spelled Nutrafol.com, promo code GGE10. That's Nutrafol.com, promo code GGE10.
Okay. And finally, something that really has been part of our routines for a long time, which is liquid IV. I just take a packet of it. I put it in water, tear, pour, live more. 1 stick plus 16.
Did they say that? Yeah. Tear, pour, live more.
That's my new tagline for them. 1 stick plus 16 ounces of water hydrates better than water alone. So I take this on the road with me when I'm traveling. I just get really run down from like the amount of hotels we're in, airports, running around, we do live shows. So in the morning, I like it after like a long night out, or even when it's just hot and you're trying to stay hydrated more. It is just great. And it has 3 times the electrolytes of leading sports drinks. And I don't ever love the flavors of those things. And I love the flavor of Liquid IV. So they have some summer flavors right now.
Ooh.
They have popsicle firecracker, rainbow sorbet.
Oh,
They have their line of sugar-free flavors. So they have raspberry melon and white peach. I'm obsessed with white peach. Ashley and I both love some of their popular flavors. The acai berry. Ashley loves the lemon lime. They have pina colada. Ashley's a big
I love the pina colada. I mean, I'm just excited when we go back out on tour. Like, I will never travel without it.
Same.
Like I will wake up feeling like sluggish, had a long night, and really just have to like chug that Liquid IV, get all those electrolytes.
I always have the travel packs as well. Like she said, I pop them in my carry-on, and I always just have them with me, and it just makes me feel better. So indulge in hydration this summer with Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use the code GGE at checkout. That's 20% off your first order when you shop at Better Hydration today using promo code GGE at liquidiv.com. I want to ask one more question before we move on, because there was this article that I sent you called The Glow Down. It's in the cut about people are reversing plastic surgery procedures. Are you seeing people come to you and ask them to dissolve filler?
Absolutely. I've dissolved more filler this year than any other time. And I used to not, but people are just like, please help me.
Oh my
They would
gosh.
come in, they would lie and say they've never had filler done. And like, okay, now that I have you, please help me with my lips. And I'm just like, oh my God. All right. So let me. Okay, I feel bad for some of these people, and so I get people with and surgery stuff too, like overdone BBLs, and so I'm now doing more reductive type of procedures.
Wow.
Yeah, because it was just overdone, and it's this year especially. So I think that article's spot on. People are looking to reverse, and people are getting a sense that more isn't necessarily better when it comes to these body enhancement and face enhancement types of things.
So the pendulum is kind of swinging. People kind of overdid it, and now they're looking to be a little more natural.
Well, I want to talk about this, and I was obsessed with your TikTok reel about guessing ages of the Love Island contestants. But you mentioned this like fitting into clothes and trends, and it's just like beauty and body and face shouldn't be like trends, because 1 minute it's full face, now it's people are getting the fat removal. One minute it's like skinny, then it's big curvy, so I think we need to stop just being like, this is what's trending, because it's your face and your body, and just go towards a look that makes you feel pretty and you like your body, because it's so nuts.
How do you define that?
I think it's personal. I think it's, you have to look at a body type or a face type, whoever it is, if it's a Kardashian or whoever.
That was the big thing, right? Maybe 10 years ago with the Kardashian, kind of the BBL, and that spiked a big wave. That BBL went up 10,000% procedure after the Kardashians came out about having that. So
but you just have to be like, that's not going to be me, and I don't need to do it.
Right. So how do we do that?
I mean, I think telling people like trends come and go is one thing.
That's a good point.
And
that's
like
a good
you
call
talking about dissolving filler, reducing
Awareness.
BBLs is important to talk about.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about taking your time with all this stuff then, and not just like overdoing it, because the guess my age thing and the fact that these procedures really can age you quickly. There's like such a fine line. It's like, when do you start?
That's a good question. I think it does depend on the person. I have people that come in and they're 22 years old and they have, wrinkles on the forehead like a ballpark hot dog package, and I'm like, all right, let's do a little Botox.
Totally.
And then I have people that are like completely beautiful with no wrinkles and they at 27 and they want a facelift. And I'm just like, all right, so
Go to therapy.
No, seriously.
But
This particular person had body dysmorphia, and I was like, "There's nothing wrong." And she was getting very mad at me, and I was just like, "Okay." I was like, "All right, well, let's have you come in the office," because it was a virtual consultation, and then she never did. But anyway, so back to age. So I think stay away from fillers in your 20s.
Thank you.
Yeah, stay away from the fillers in your 20s. Dabble in a little Botox, a little preventative if you want, or Daxxify, because the thing is, it's like fillers. So fillers can be permanent in some areas, like the under eye area. There's a study came out, talked about the lymphatic blocking effect of too much hyaluronic acid filler in the under eye area. So it's a filler that I do sometimes, but I do very sparingly, especially in the under eye. It took me 4 years to really master that. Okay. And I'm a board certified plastic surgeon. I've done thousands of these, right? So you have people that you have non-doctors doing this, and no discredit. There's a lot of good ones out there, but like you have people doing these types of procedures, and they like, you got to be just very careful. Like when it comes to like the incremental things, facials, and then you have Botox, neuromodulators, and then you have filler. You got to be really careful when you start getting into filler.
Can you differentiate between like lip filler and cheek and under eye filler?
Yeah. So
is there one that's like worse to start earlier?
Yeah. I mean, you could probably get away with doing like a little lip filler in your 20s. I think that's fine. But there's this kind of, I don't know what it is, but there's got to be a word for it. But perhaps an addiction. Like people go home after their lips and be like, oh my God, this was so good. And then they come back and they want more. And I'm like, all right, we'll do a little bit more. And then I'm like, no, I got to stop you. Like, this is fine. And then I'll just like try to redirect them to something else. And so it's important to recognize when that happens that more isn't necessarily better. It may make you feel better, especially with the lips. I don't know what it is. There's something that happens when you get lips done. You go home and you feel great. And you're like, wow, this looks so good and I want to do more.
Yeah.
More doesn't necessarily mean it's going to look better and it ends up looking worse. And so I think that happens. And there's something in the human psychology that I don't fully understand, but I do identify it when it happens and I try to kind of coach
You can also
people.
ask your friends, because we had a friend that had this. And
what did you say? I mean, what do you do when you have a friend that has this?
We were like, girl, don't do that. Stop.
Yeah,
you look
okay.
crazy.
You told her straight
and she dissolved some. She said it was the worst pain she's ever felt.
Yeah, it hurts
and now
when you dissolve.
She does have big, beautiful, full lips, but she went too far. They look like those fat, fake wax lips.
Yeah.
And I think one of our friends started the conversation, and then she did ask, and it was like, yeah. But I love that you said don't do fillers in your 20s, just as a hard line. And when we come to like a rhinoplasty or whatever it is, again, I got my chin done when I was 20. We're not talking about that. To me, you see these youthful, beautiful women. I think of like one reality show girl I used to watch, beautiful girl, and then got all the things done. She looked 35. And that's what you were doing with the Love Island contestants. You're like, they're 35, they're 36. Nothing wrong with that. I'm 40, but it's just something about the look. Right.
I felt set up with that, by the way. And I don't like to call people out on that kind of stuff. I felt really bad when I found out their real ages. And so that was my marketing team. But that was me giving my like honest impression. And perhaps I can have a good sense for how old people look because I'm a plastic surgeon. But God, you're right. It was shocking. I never realized that, how much older people look with overdone work. And of course, we don't know what work they've had or had done. That was just me speculating. But arguably it was probably something, like
preserve your youth, enjoy your 20s youth. Like this really gets me worked up because you see people just making these mistakes, and now you just look like a really pretty 35-year-old woman.
I support people wanting to do whatever they want to their face.
Yeah.
And I started getting Botox when I was 28.
Yeah.
I have only had cheek filler. I started that in my mid-30s. But
you didn't start when you're like, 20 years old,
Well, I didn't know how ugly I was at 20. I started to learn as I got older. The Botox I felt was really preventative. And my mom has a very deep, like 11-line crater in her face, which those are her words, not mine. But I started that younger, and I'm happy because it was preventative, and hopefully I had never overdone it. But my question to you is, if you start this early, are you sort of like
Committed for life.
you're committed forever?
That's what people
Let's
That's a
do like
common
Botox
question.
versus filler, both of them.
Yeah, that's a common question. And I go back to a twin study that was done of these twins that one did Botox and one didn't, and over a 10-year period. And you could see that the appearance of their face was dramatically different. The twin who did Botox looked 10 years younger than the other one. And yes, Botox is great, but when you stop using Botox, your skin just goes right back to pretty much the way it was. And if anything, there's a slight long-term benefit. Okay. The same is true with filler done properly, right? So like if you put a little filler in your lips, you probably have a 5% residual that kind of always stays in terms of fullness. So it's important to kind of remember that. And then when it goes away, nothing, unless you do it excessively, right? Like if you get 1,000 cc breast implants and then you just all of a sudden not have the breast implants, you've done damage to your body because they're never going to look back the same.
The skin.
Yeah, if
Okay.
you do 30 cc's of filler in your face and then let it all wear off, you're going to mess up your face. But if you just do like a couple cc's here and there, you're probably just go back to normal, you know?
Okay.
I'm glad you kind of answered from the, is it neuromodulator? Is that what Botox is?
Yeah, so it's Botox, Daxxify,
that's the term.
Xeomin, Dysport, all of them, they're called neuromodulators
Okay.
is the proper term.
So those,
Yeah.
yes, like what you said, but yes, I want to address the fear that you get filler and then it dissipates and then you have like a saggy face. So
Right.
I like your point. It matters how much.
Right. Yeah.
I've gone in waves for years, for 10 years at this point, and when I've let my Botox wear off, it just wears off. It's fine. It doesn't look like anything.
Yeah.
I've never had a significant amount of filler, so I don't know. But once I had jaw filler, and I really regretted that immediately, and I let it dissolve, and I haven't had any like residuals, but I didn't
Yeah.
have a ton of it. I had a
Right.
very small amount, and that is important, like you said, to start really slow and see how you feel about it, because I hated it.
Baby
There's
steps.
nothing that feels worse than thinking you've overdone it. And I haven't had cheek filler in so long, and I still am fine with the way I look. And I think everybody's body is different, how you metabolize things, how your body holds on to things. I mean, I remember getting it done once and then just feeling like it was time for a refresh and it wasn't. And then I
Okay.
felt overfilled and I was
Okay.
really mad at myself. And so it's been since like end of 2022. I think there's a little still there. I'm okay.
That wasn't me, right? That overdid you.
It wasn't even overdone.
Okay.
I just felt like, Ashley, you didn't need to go again.
Yeah.
It was still there.
Yeah. But
You
did
know,
the doctor say that you didn't need it or you just,
I mean,
you
he
just
did
what
like
you
a
want?
tiny bit.
Okay.
He's wonderful.
Okay.
He's the guy
Okay.
that did my nose.
Okay. Okay.
No one would have guessed I was overfilled. I was
Okay.
just like, Raina, I'm mad at
She's
myself.
hypersensitive
I'm
about
really
everything.
sensitive.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
I'm always like,
No,
Ashley,
okay.
don't do it.
No, I looked great. But I was like, I still had some left.
Yeah.
Like in
Yeah,
my
yeah.
head, I was like,
Right.
it's been a year.
Right.
I'm ready. And I
Okay.
just didn't need it. And so, I say that just to be like, everybody's body is different too. Like, I don't hold on to neuromodulators as long as a lot of people. I
really
need to be in
don't.
there every 3 months.
Yeah.
So let's talk about that. Where would you start Botox on the face, and how long do they take to go away? And if the answer is case by case, then let's talk about that too.
No, I think the most common areas are the upper three. So the forehead is probably the first one where you get these horizontal lines that can kind of prematurely age people, and then the next one, depending on how much you scowl on a regular basis, is the 11s, right? And so that one is actually kind of a unique one, and I love that was the first area that I did on my own face because I remember I was in residency, I was walking around the hallways, and I was like, "Why are you so mad?" I was like tired. I was like going around because like no sleep in residency training, and so I Botoxed myself there, and then all of a sudden I just felt happier, And they actually did a study on it. That you Botox the brow, like the 11s. It decreases the rate of depression because your body senses that you're not frowning all the time.
Oh my God, it's like fake it till you make it.
Yeah,
It's like if you
exactly.
smile, you will actually be happy.
Exactly.
I didn't even get those done until
Yeah.
I was like 38,
Right,
but I
right.
had like laugh lines like crazy.
Yeah,
Like it's,
and
I
so
think
some
I'm-
people get those first, right?
Yeah.
And so I think if you start to notice wrinkles that don't go away, that's
Okay.
what I say. If you notice wrinkles that are starting to get deeper, and then when you're not making the expression, because neuromodulators treat wrinkles of dynamic wrinkles. So the muscles that cause it, they relax those muscles. And so if you're noticing those wrinkles are not going away, then it might be a consideration. Again, you don't have to do it, but if it's something you want to improve, you can.
Okay. And it's interesting that you didn't get the 11s, because I started with the 11s. It's the only thing I did from like 27 to 34, probably. It wasn't until Ashley and I were doing a lot of live shows and I was smiling so hard in all these photos with our audience that I noticed I had some laugh lines around my eyes. But my forehead, I haven't really touched that much.
Yeah.
I make it sound like I get so much work done. I've done this twice a year for 10 years, you
Yeah.
know? But it is really case by case for most people. And can we talk about like Daxxify versus
sure.
Botox and the
Yeah.
different types?
Yeah, so just briefly, the previous Botox has been around the longest by Allergan, and it's a big animal molecule attached to Botox, which is from Clostridium botulinum. It's a poison, causes if you had a whole bunch in your body, you would stop breathing. And so a lot of people worried that it's going to have like the systemic kind of thing, but you need thousands of units to cause any systemic problems. So it's very, very safe. And that was the first one that came out. And then you had people that mimicked that one with Dysport, Xeomin, and those are the ones that I can think of right now. And then a newer product that's attached to a peptide that's not animal, so it's vegan, is Daxxify. It's kind of more my favorite right now.
Oh, vegan.
Yeah, and it lasts a little bit longer, lasts 50% longer. So if you're one of those people that chew through a typical neuromodulator, it's good for you. In case,
actually chew through it.
Right, yeah, because like how many, it's like,
expressions.
I love seeing you in my office, but like you don't want to go and like deal with parking and traffic to go get your injections done, right? So it's just like a little bit less is good. Gives you the peptide, there's this glow associated with it. We don't fully understand how that works, but yet we don't fully understand how Botox works either. So it seems to work. It's been studied, it's FDA approved, and that's a really positive thing. Kicks in faster. So if you have an event that's coming up, it's a little bit better. But the only downside is it kind of is a little bit spicy. It stings a little bit more. Did you experience that at all?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I don't do numbing, and then you made me do it.
Yeah.
Saying that she doesn't do numbing.
I was like, I got to
Yeah.
get in and get out. And they were like,
Yeah.
Dr. Barrett says you have to numb today.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, you guys know I'm a bad bitch. And they were like, no,
I don't
it
have
does.
to do it.
It hurts a little more.
It hurts a little more,
fine,
and so
it's
that's the only negative. But yeah, so I mean, it's the first newer one that can, and there's going to be another peptide-based product coming out soon, I'm sure, that's going to compete with it. Then we can get into fillers, and fillers have been around a long time as well. I mean, gosh, back in the day, they used to use all kinds of crazy stuff that's been banned since then. Like people used to use raw silicone, and they would put it in like buttocks for BBLs and for nose and stuff like that. And the problem is it's permanent,
Right,
it never goes away.
Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
so if someone's trying to put silicone in your face or your body in the garage,
If you're in a garage, you
check their reviews online. Okay, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Yeah, garage is a big red flag.
Check the Yelp page
Check
first.
the Yelp page.
Okay, and then how long do these things typically last on everybody? Because Ashley and I are both very different, also in terms of how long
Right.
they've lasted on us.
Right. So neuromodulators last anywhere from 2 to 5 months, 2 to 6 months, depending on where you inject it to. Like if you do your masseters, it tends to last longer. Your traps or your armpits, people actually Botox their armpits and it lasts 6
Right.
months. Yeah, for like sweating. When it comes to filler, it's anywhere from 6 to 12 months to 2 to 5 years, depending on the type of filler. So the hyaluronic acid, those are the ones that hold onto water, and you got to be careful with those because like if you put those underneath your eyes, you can clog lymphatics and you get puffiness. So then there's other products like calcium hydroxyapatite, which is Radiesse, and then you have Sculptra, which is a little longer acting. It's a pure stimulatory filler. So basically try not to figure it all out on yourself, but like find a qualified person. Make sure you do the research on what they're injecting. Like, oh, what are you injecting today? Write it down so that you know in case you move on somewhere else, you know what you got put in your face. I can't tell you how many times people are like, yeah, I went to so-and-so and I don't know what they put here. I'm like, all right, well, I don't even know if I can dissolve it,
Or how many units?
Ask questions.
Yeah.
Again, everybody's different. I was getting something different before I came to you, and you're big on Radiesse, I think.
Yeah. I use it, calcium hydroxyapatite. So I'll tell you why. A lot of facelift surgeons, including myself, will go in and they'll see hyaluronic acid, and it's really messy, especially in the under eye area. When you do a facelift, you can see it, and it just kind of gets in the way when like these purist facelift type surgeons, which I'm not a purist. I do believe in like doing injectables and also doing facelifts, but these doctors that just do like facelifts and they're purists. Mark Maroney is one of them, and he's an incredible plastic surgeon. He's very artistic, but all he does facelifts. He's like, don't put filler in your face if you're going to come see me because he'll dissolve it, right? So I talked to him, and it's like like we both like the effect of Radiesse a little bit more. Calcium hydroxyapatite because it's deeper, it's down on the bone, it's more structural. It stimulates collagen. It doesn't have as much puffiness and day-to-day fluctuations as hyaluronic acid does. I mean, these are finer details, but yeah, that was a product I'd like to use for you because it tends to have a more natural look. Like hyaluronic acid is clear, so it's not going to, if you have a lot of veins underneath your skin, you're going to magnify that with a hyaluronic acid. If you use something like a Radiesse, it's opaque and it's going to create collagen so you can't see through the skin and see the darkness underneath. So people have dark circles under their eyes, a little bit of a more stimulatory filler might be a better option if done carefully. It's very challenging to do. So you got to make sure you go to a qualified person if you're going to do that.
I'm hearing so much that just sounds like under eye filler is just a hot mess.
It's a hot mess. Trust me. I hesitate every time I do it for somebody, and I'm very careful.
So, but like,
Why would you get it?
Well, I mean, I understand it. Like, it's really an aging place. Like,
They get sunken in. That's why, like by your nose.
I think everybody's different. Like, everybody feels like they have dark circles or they're sunken in. For me, I'm just like, there's wrinkles there, but I'm not gonna fuck with it. I mean, I'm also not scared of wrinkles. I'm aging. It's fine. It's a privileged age, but like, what's the best case scenario? Just if we're really like my eyes are aging me. I don't want to fuck with this under eye filler. Like, are we just going to do a little neuromodulator around the sides? I mean, temple filler. You gave me temple filler. It really brought my face up. I mean, let's talk about some other things.
And by the way, these are all high risk things that can cause major issues like skin necrosis and blindness. So just just want to let people know that it's not to be taken lightly. Yeah, it's a combination approach. You really have to understand each person's anatomy and what the unique problems are with each person, right? So is it thinness of skin? Okay, yeah, we need to do some microneedling with it. We need to do some skincare with it. Is there a volume deficiency? That's where we start talking about filler. A lot of people come in, they think, okay, all I need is filler, but they need three things. They need skin lightening, they need skin tightening, and then they also need volume as well. So I think you have to kind of approach all of those things. And then some people, it's so dramatic that surgery is probably a better option, where we could do fat grafting, bring in stem cells, and some type of skin excision type of procedure with that, so that we can more manage people's expectations. Sometimes I brought my mom in today. She's 70 years old and she wants to try filler. I'm like, all right, your mom's not going to do great with filler. All right, mom needs a facelift. Go in there, talk to my surgical coordinator, because I'm not even going to start. Yeah, it's just like, come on,
I mean, so I'm so interested in this filler versus facelift thing because I was talking to a girlfriend and she's beautiful. She's in her mid 40s. She really hasn't done much. And she's like, I'm just going to wait for the facelift. Like,
okay.
And then I see people on TV and I'm like, they're so overfilled, like a housewife, for example, like some of the housewives. And you're like, I think they're too far past the facelift. And you said that the other surgeon, would dissolve that before he would even start. So
and he gets upset about it.
Is there like a point of no return where you're like,
no,
like Patricia on Southern Charm, is this what, 80?
She's 80. I don't even know.
The best.
For filler?
No,
or she's had a
for
face.
I mean, of course. Like we could always do a facelift.
Beautiful.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Done right, a good deep plane facelift, in my opinion, is the ultimate solution for more advanced laxity and things like that. Yeah, you don't want to. So here's the thing: is like, I mean, you remember Joan Rivers, God rest her soul. She just had really overdone. I don't know what happened, but it's just like people are like, oh, well, I see lax skin. The solution is just to fill it back up, but that distorts your face to a non-natural appearance, right? That's not how you were before,
right?
It's just the skin's dropped down. It wasn't filled like a balloon before,
Thank you. That's what I think people are like, I got to pump it up.
Raina's over here just like, whatever, I'm kind of coming to the office tomorrow.
Well, I know. I'm like, I'm going to do a bunch of stuff. Well, I started, quote unquote, young. I started 27 doing very, very small things, maybe once a year, and then small things twice a year, and then a couple more things twice a year. And I feel that hopefully as I age, I will be able to age a little more gracefully and not need to make a vast change. And if I want to, then I fucking will. But
so light maintenance, and I think you look beautiful, and I think you've done everything perfectly right.
You too.
Yeah, well, thanks. And so it's just like, maintenance does prolong stuff, right? So like people that are maintained and do both, neuromodulator and some light filler and some skin treatments like microneedling and things like that, take care of themselves. We've been able to push facelifts further on if that's their concern,
Yeah. So. I mean, the laser that Raina got just changed her skin. I mean, because she's not big on skincare. We're not going to talk about it. It's probably going to upset everybody in the room.
All I've done, I do water.
Water?
I drink some water and I
go down this road.
Okay.
No, I'm the skincare one in the room. But I mean, that laser, like you would have thought you got more done, because of the way it really made your face look. So I mean,
and that's case by case. Like I didn't have large pores. I had a CO2 laser. It's the first laser I've ever. Oh, I did microneedling once, but it did tighten stuff up. But I don't know if that would be the procedure for everybody.
Correct. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I mean, like, CO2 done under anesthesia can go very deep. It can tighten skin. It can get rid of, just blast away wrinkles. It can improve texture. So it does depend on the person. So I often start people on microneedling first, and then if we're just like, hey, I want a really major improvement, then I switch over to CO2 laser.
Okay,
cool.
But you got to watch out for your skin type. If you have darker skin, you can't necessarily always do CO2 lasers. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So let's just talk about it a little bit. I mean, some people haven't heard of CO2 laser. I mean, I got Morpheus 8 a few years ago. I talked about that, and short answer is these are needles to the face
with radio frequency.
with radio frequency. But let's talk about the CO2 laser, because this sounds like this is kind of
Like the step up.
Yeah, I mean,
And if people don't know what microneedling and Morpheus 8 is.
Yeah, so let's do a little education. So microneedling is basically a pen that kind of vibrates needles in and out of your face at a rapid rate, and anywhere from 1 millimeter to 2.5 millimeters, and then you can do things on top of it like exosomes or PRP. PRP is used to what we used to use. Now we use exosomes, and you put that on the skin and it sinks in. There's a permeability factor that happens right after microneedling, and you can really enhance your skin health by putting these agents on your skin right after microneedling. So a lot of people do that because the downtime is only about 3 days. When it comes to heavy skin wrinkling and pigment and stuff like that, that's where I think lasers is more powerful in terms of like resurfacing and getting rid of like acne scars, because it goes deeper with the laser beam, and it causes a lot more collagen production with a CO2 laser than with microneedling. You could still do the exosome application afterwards and topicals after CO2 laser as well, but the effect is more dramatic, but it's also more painful. And typically when I get involved, we go under anesthesia, and that way it's comfortable and you're not feeling it, but then your face is completely, resurfaced. So,
I know I've had calls with your office like, can I handle this without
you're
anesthesia?
a wholly different person. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I mean, I went under anesthesia for it.
Yeah, and it was pleasant, right? Like you try to do it when you're awake, it's not.
Well, I know.
Morpheus probably wasn't comfortable either.
Morpheus was the worst pain I've ever felt in my life.
the worst thing I've
Tears
ever
Why are you
streaming
going
down
to do
my
that?
face.
Yeah, why are you going to do that to
But
yourself?
we were
I feel like,
traumatized from it.
yeah.
Did you get it too?
Yeah, different times.
Oh my God.
I saw the difference. It worked. I just was like, I don't think I can do that again. But
Right.
no, I had a call with the nurse, called me from the office, and I was
Yeah.
like, be for real. I have a good pain tolerance. Can I do this?
Yeah.
When I got my IUD, they were like, wow, you're a champ. You feel no pain. Same with Raina. And she's like, I don't know. You can try it. And I was
Yeah.
like, is anyone doing it? Is anyone doing the CO2 laser, raw dog, no anesthesia?
Yeah, but lighter settings, way lighter settings.
But right, you can't get as deep with
yeah,
it.
it's not going to be as a
Okay.
good result.
I'll go under.
Yeah.
I'll get something else.
think you should.
I'll do the
Honestly,
upper. I'll do
you
the
know-
upper bluff.
Yeah. I mean, I thought it was kind of fun. I mean, to be honest, like my whole face peeled off. Like
Yeah.
your face,
afterwards, yes.
Yeah, like I was just a little red for like a day.
That was fun.
I did. I thought it was fun.
Okay,
The second
all right.
day, second and
Yeah.
third day, it looks like you have coffee grinds kind of all over your skin. It becomes like a shell, like a
Did you
snake.
go out? Did you go to like get coffee or anything? Did you see what?
no.
I'm just curious.
I came to see you with a hood on and sunglasses.
Yeah.
And
Because some people just go out and they own it, and people are like, "Oh,
That's
you have
LA.
done?"
In
It
LA
is
you
LA.
can.
I know, but you can't do that back
You
east.
go
do
out
that
with
back
your
east.
nose
and it's
job
like- yeah.
cast.
Totally.
That's so LA.
I see a
bad.
nose job cast every day to
Yeah.
everyone. There's not a day that goes by. So then
Yeah.
my whole face peeled off, and it was fun. You get in the shower the fourth day, and it's just
Yeah.
you're really just like a snake. It's amazing. I never looked better.
I know, because Raina, she's never exfoliated once, and she was like, "Is this what you guys have been experiencing?" No, I'm kidding.
She just waits for one big exfoliation.
Raina's go hard or go home. She's.
Yeah.
Can we just talk about an upper bluff? Because this is like
Sure.
this is hot right now.
Yeah.
And I think I'm seeing people really do it and own it.
Yeah.
I think it was Shannon Ford. She posted a reel
For a
with,
wedding or something.
with like the scars and just
Yeah.
owning it.
Yeah.
And I like talking about these procedures that maybe people aren't telling you what they've been doing, but all of a sudden you're like, you look amazing and not overdone.
It's
But-
a sneaky little procedure
It
that a
is.
lot of people have had.
Yeah, it's virtually undetectable, which makes it one of my favorites, because if you have extra skin in your upper eyelids, it makes you look tired.
Right, tell us what it is.
So a blepharoplasty is basically a skin and sometimes fat removal, which I don't recommend removing fat, but skin removal of the upper eyelid. And so when I see people when their upper eyelid skin is touching their eyelashes, it gives you a tired appearance and actually makes you feel tired because you're constantly lifting that skin up. And so, when people get it done, they just look more youthful, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. And it's just like a no-brainer, if done correctly.
Where do the scars live?
Yeah, right in your eyelid crease. So you already have an eyelid. If you close one eye, look in the mirror, and you'll see a little eyelid crease. That's where the scar is. So if closed properly with proper scar gel and everything afterwards, you get away without really anybody noticing, except you just look better.
It's really a thing you start
But you got
to
to have the
notice.
extra skin, though.
Yeah, I mean, I think women, we notice it when we're doing our eyeshadow or our mascara. We're like, wait, all of a sudden I have to pull my eye up to get in there when I didn't have to do that 5 years ago. And so I think that's the tell.
Yeah.
I think it's so interesting, all of these sneaky little procedures. I mean, you mentioned Botox in the armpit and upper eye bluffs. And,
Well, that's for sweating.
chin. Well, I'm going to get to a point.
Not for saggy armpits.
It's just for sweating. No,
Armpit fat.
hyperhidrosis. It's a real thing. I guarantee you have
No, I've
some
heard
listeners
that.
out there. Yeah, they're very self-conscious. People are self-conscious. They'll be sweaty armpits and they feel uncomfortable. They have to like wear multiple layers of clothing. So both men and women, yeah.
I think that we spend our whole lives looking at celebrities and reality TV show people. This is not a hot take, but you're like, they're so beautiful. They look so much better than me. Why do other people get to look like this and I don't? It's like, they don't get to look like this. They
Right.
paid for this. And
Very few.
there's so many sneaky little procedures that you don't even realize people are getting, like a chin implant. That's
Right.
such a small change to your face, but such a huge difference. And the upper eye bleph. And there's just, I don't know, since I've been coming to you, I've heard of all these different little things that people are really doing. And you're like, oh, people paid for this. They're not just naturally so much better than me.
Yeah, it's like the reason my TikTok account exists is because I just blow people up on the. No, I'm just kidding, but no, like I have gotten in trouble for calling out certain celebrities that I feel like they've had work done, and I feel like personally, if you're a celebrity and you're the public eye and people look up to you as a role model, you should be transparent about the work you've had done. That's your choice. You don't have to be, but I feel like there's people that are having body issues and they're looking up to you like, well, why can't I look like that? I'm never going to be, worth anything. And I think it's important to be transparent about it. I get it though. If I was a celebrity, especially a woman, there's a lack of female roles which is a disparity that we all know about. Like, there's no roles for women after 30. There's intense competition to look good. And there is this feeling amongst celebrities perhaps that they don't want to admit that they had work done because it might put them at a disadvantage for work. And I get it. So I don't know how you guys feel about that. But on the other hand, it's just like you're also in the public light. I feel like you should, in my opinion, I believe in transparency and people should be honest with the world in terms of things that they might have had done. What do you guys think?
We think it's getting better for
Okay.
sure. We think the landscape is getting better with women aging and it's not great and it's not equal to men, but we see improvements every day. But we feel like we wish everybody was transparent. If you don't want to be, that's your prerogative, but just don't lie and sell it back to us. You know, don't sell us lip kits. If that say don't sell a nose contour kit when you've had a rhinoplasty without admitting it. Like, don't sell a workout plan with squats and lunges if you've had a BBL.
Yeah.
Like, that's where I really draw the line. There's a point if you get asked blatantly on an interview, you can be coy, plead the fifth if you want to, but it feels, and this goes into Ozempic and all of that. But just don't lie and use it to sell people,
So that's another topic, Ozempic and HRO. But
I think it's hard. I think that there's this line where you're like, I want to be honest, but I don't want to encourage other people to do this. If they already like themselves, I don't want people to think that they need it. I'm sure people listening to this are like, Jesus Christ, Raina, you've had so much shit done. Yeah. But, I do, maybe it doesn't sound like that. I like myself and I am confident.
Yeah,
I've done little things over the years that I own and I'm proud to have done. And I'm proud to have the money to do it. I work really hard. I did to myself what I wanted to do. You did to me what I wanted you to do. I try to be as honest as possible and as much as I want to be. And I think that everybody should do what they're comfortable with. And I totally agree with Ashley. You just can't be out here lying.
Yeah, I think that's
It's just
that's a
really
good distinction because I think that's where we kind of go after people that say they've never had any work done. I'm like, I don't think so.
crazy.
That's what I really have such a huge problem with. And I'm sitting here saying the stuff I've had done too. I guess ultimately when it goes back to like, you really should try your best to love yourself before you go in there is like, I've always just said, like, I just want to look like the best version of me. Yeah. Like I think where people really get tripped up is they really hate themselves. They really hate the way they look. They look in the mirror and they hate what they see. They look at their body, they hate what they see. So they're going in pursuit of looking like a completely different person and you'll never achieve self-love that way.
Why does that happen?
Everybody's probably got a different reason for, I think, and Raina and I were lucky enough to grow up without social media. Yeah. And I mean, we had the whole influences of the 90s when it comes to like thinness and all of that. But I can't imagine what it would be like to be a girl growing up, 20s today. Yeah. And
I have 3 daughters, so I'm kind of nervous about that. Like, what is social media going to do? Like, what,
but your parents matter. Things your parents tell you. Like your self-confidence and your self-love is instilled with how you were brought up and all kinds of different factors. So everybody's got a different reason of why they hate themselves, and it's sad to see. But nothing you do can fix somebody that comes in with like a pure hatred of their looks. Yeah. I unfortunately.
Yeah.
No, normally it's when people are happy, the happiest in it's just like it's one thing. It's like, I want bigger boobs. It's just like, I just want bigger boobs. Or, I want my lips to look a bit more fuller. I feel like when I smile, my top lip disappears.
That's me. But we're not there yet. We just did the lip flip.
So
I think it's hard. I mean, from a very young age, I always fed a very steady diet. of, I remember feeling like when I was 14, I had cellulite on my thighs and I didn't want to wear shorts. And I developed really young and I had this body. And I remember just thinking constantly about my body, what it looked like in bikinis, and never feeling good and feeling panicked every time I took a beach vacation. And it's taken me my whole life to like feel better. And we always say like, nobody thinks about you as much as you think about you.
Yeah.
And there's this influencer I love. Her name is Josie, B-A-L-K, Balka. And one of her lines in one of her TikToks is, I've never seen like a beach body so good or bad on someone else that I ever thought about it ever again.
Yeah.
And I think about her saying that and how much pressure we put on ourselves, and it really is all in your head. But yeah, I think that people my age, Ashley's age, have been fed this steady diet of like hate yourself. And then 30 years later, it was body positivity. Now you have to love yourself. And it's like, I don't love myself. So I think it's just a lot of mental health and surrounding yourself with different body types and following people on social media that have better body types. I mean, I've had to unfollow a lot of people because they made me feel bad about myself. Not on purpose, but different body shapes that you expose yourself to.
Can we talk about skincare a little bit?
Yeah.
Great. So again, I think huge conversation could go a million different directions, but maybe some of your top things and when do you start them? Because I think that, like you said, this is where to start before you start going in and getting a bunch of other stuff done is skincare.
There was a study that was done that the first thing that is noticed for a person is the quality of their skin. This is a study of men looking at women, and the first thing that women notice when they look at a man is height. This is
Quality
study.
of skin, okay.
So when men were studied, like the first thing that was noticed is the quality of skin. So I do think skincare is very important. I think the top thing for people to realize is that your skin is a reflection of your overall health. It's the largest organ in our body, and primarily your gut health. So if you're having breakouts and stuff like that, especially if you're younger, it's probably coming from your gut health. And so you do want to make sure that you look at things that could be upsetting your gut. If you're eating a lot of processed foods and seed oils and fast foods and you're having acne breakout, you want to look at that. Getting good sleep, those fundamentals. And then we can get into some stuff that's evidence-based that's been shown to improve skin quality, like vitamin C. It does show that it improves the collagen content of your skin. So doing a vitamin C every day is great.
Like a serum.
Serum, yeah. You can also take supplements as well, and collagen supplements that has been shown, which we used to think it was crazy, like this big collagen molecule. We used to think you eat food and it gets broken down into tiny little subunits and then it goes wherever. Well, now we know that like you eat food and the actual food particles, like they don't break down fully, and even collagen will go to your skin and your tissues. So I do recommend taking some kind of collagen out there, just make sure it's somewhat healthy. Then we get to topical stuff you can do on topical on your skin, which is kind of a direct effect. So I always like start with that foundational stuff, your health first, and then you can get into the topical stuff like vitamin C. And then as you get into your 30s, you can start to add in like retinol. Retinol has been shown to improve the collagen quality of your skin as well. And then there's a bunch of other stuff that's coming out like reverse DNA repair, growth factor, stuff like that. My go-to skincare line is Zeo, which I think we've talked about.
Oh,
I wash my face with it now.
Yeah, but
that one serum really like makes you glow. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good skincare products out there. I'm not just, there's IS Clinical. There's several good product lines out there, but you want to do your research and look at ingredients of what you're actually using, and then you don't want to be using a harsh retinol when you're 21 years old. That's just totally overkill. Okay. So I think going to a good skincare professional to get a good skincare recommendation is good as you get a little bit older. When you're 20s, I would just say sunscreen and then stay away from over moisturizing your skin. I think we talked about this earlier. Okay. You'll see that 80-year-old woman who's just constantly moisturizing her skin and her skin's paper thin. That's telling your skin to like lie in bed all day, right? If you want stronger muscles, you go to the gym. If you want thicker skin, more youthful skin, you have to challenge your skin. And that's with not over moisturizing it. You want to like hyaluronic acid on your skin, totally worthless. And
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, I know people, it's everywhere, right? But it's just like, you're putting it on your skin where it's like chapstick all the time. You're going to be kind of chronically addicted to the hyaluronic acid based product on your skin. So I believe in more challenging your skin. So like maybe in your 20s, you could do vitamin C, and maybe in your 30s, you start retinol. If you do start retinol in your 30s, I think it's great. You will lock in your skin quality for the rest of your life. And
love this. Yeah.
So, and then obviously good sun protection, physical sun blocking agents only, guys. So that is zinc or titanium dioxide. That's it. And then, or nothing, and wear a hat. Okay. Because if you're using these chemical sunscreens, I understand if you have to, if you're in a water environment and it needs to be waterproof, that's okay. But some of these things are toxic. We're realizing these benzenes and things like that are in there are very toxic and build up in our body greater than what we previously thought. So I think
Okay, we need more information on
Physical
this, though.
blocking agent only. So zinc, great.
Okay.
We've been using it for decades, right?
Okay.
Hats, stuff like that
But like,
is great.
I feel like my makeup has like SPF 30 in it. What do I need to watch out for ingredient
it's like oxalate, all those, like, if you look at the ingredients, if it doesn't say zinc, active ingredient zinc or titanium dioxide, I wouldn't
Zinc or
use it.
titanium dioxide is what we're looking for.
Yeah, those are
Okay.
chemical blocking agents,
Okay.
and they cause breakouts. They absorb in your skin.
But we're looking for zinc or titanium dioxide.
That's what I would suggest.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. You can't go wrong with that.
Well, let's talk about red light.
Yeah.
Because I'm every night, I
Yeah.
do my red light.
All right.
And if I stick to it, I see a difference.
Yeah.
Like if I am like, Ashley, don't buck around and procrastinate every single night,
Yeah.
even like 7 days in a row. And I try to do it every day, but sometimes, and then you travel. But if I really
Right.
am like, I'm committing to this, I don't want to skip a night. I've
Yeah.
noticed such a difference.
So this is wild. This has come out of the like probably 2019. I kind of caught wind of this, and it was through a podcast with this guy named Ben Greenfield. And he talks about red light, these red light panels, and I was like, "What the hell is all this?" Red light, and it's a specific wavelength, 680 nanometers, and it doesn't have like UV. Like you got, like when you go outside, you feel good when you're in the sunshine. Obviously not too long, you start to bake and you do all this UV damage. But there's something about sun that's really kind of beneficial, and majority of that is the red light that comes from the sun. And so if you can isolate that red light, which is around 680 nanometers, and some infrared as well, which is a higher wavelength. It's beneficial. It feels good. It helps with pain. It helps increase blood flow. I do it for all my surgery patients. It speeds up the recovery, as you know. And it's great for reducing wrinkles and increasing the collagen in your skin. And there's lots of studies that have shown that it does that. So, and there's virtually no downside to using red light, as opposed to using skincare. I mean, like there could be other chemicals in there. We could, there's other stuff that we don't fully understand about products that we put on our skin. But when it comes to just you're putting just red light on your face, I would say that's one of the easiest no-brainers that anybody could do. It's been shown to even improve your vision and
And you have
mood.
one?
Yeah, I do.
Can you show it?
Yeah. I'm trying to plug this guy. This was just a gift for you guys, but it's got 3 different types of wavelengths. I have the red light is your daily kind of like wrinkle reduction. I have an amber light for post-procedure if you're going to get like a facial or like a microneedling. It's good for that, or surgery. And then there's a blue one for acne, which has been shown to actually reduce acne breakouts, which is really cool. So it's an additional thing that you can do. I designed mine because it has more power than I just didn't want to have to sit this thing on my face for like 30 minutes. So mine just shorts it down to like 10 minutes if you want at the highest setting. I mean,
That's a lot.
Yeah, I know. When you start out.
Oh, but I'm doing like 3.
Are you doing 3 minutes? Okay.
The one I have is 3. I'm going to name you names. I'm going to use yours now.
Yeah. Well, cool. We'll try it out. Let me know. Yeah. No. Yeah. It's cool. Yeah. So, and you can just kind of be on your phone while you're doing it. So it's like a no-brainer. That's what I do every morning. I do red light every single morning. So,
We know. We saw it on your TikTok.
and so I just think it's one of the, the fountains of youth.
Can you make a neck one?
Yeah. Okay.
Wrap that under your neck?
Yeah. You could.
Why you just put it on your neck?
Yeah. No. We could.
I
We
wanna
can make
talk
a
about the neck.
Yeah.
Well, I have
same
that,
thing.
that stick. There's
Yeah.
a red light stick that you gave me.
But I want a red
Yeah.
light neck brace.
We actually have, it is
gonna make
literally,
one of these.
it's going to be in a couple of weeks. We have an actual red light panel that we've developed as well. So you can just set that up on, while you're on the computer, and boom, you can get your whole face and chest and everything else. And so it's a lot of the benefits of being in the sunshine without all the negative effects of like UV light. So yeah, it's great for everything.
like hands, neck, like
Yeah.
those are like,
Yeah.
my
So
hands are beyond repair.
I'll make you a neck one if you want. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I would love one.
and gloves.
Yeah.
I mean, I've given up on my hands. It's fine.
What's wrong with your hands?
Yeah.
No, that's where you age, and there's nothing you can do.
You're age-
No, you can
I
do
think
it.
they
You can
look
do a
80
lot for your
years old.
hands.
Somebody on Instagram thought I was with a guy because of my hand. I just was bending in a funny way, and somebody was like, "Oh my god, she's with a guy." I was like, "Fuck you guys."
Why does that? What does that have to do with it?
They just thought you had man
They
hands.
thought I guess the way my
Thought
hand
you
was
were your
bending,
dad.
it looked like it was like wrinkled, and so somebody was like, "Oh my god, she's with a man." Somebody was like, "There's no way that's not a man's hand."
So it's just, I moisturize, I've really dry hands. I've had dermatitis and whatnot, but I try to put sunscreen. They're just out all the time. You're driving.
Yeah.
I'm jokingly saying I've given up, but I can't stress about the aging of my hands because I'm it's hard to maintain them all the time. But tell us.
So
what you can do.
sunscreen, right?
Right.
So you'll get sunspots on your hand pretty quick, especially if it's on your driving side. Like back in the day, we used to roll down your window and stick your arm out. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so
That was back in the day?
Back in the day,
All right,
you still
sure.
do that?
I was an hour
We still
ago.
have windows.
I know. I don't know. I feel like everybody in LA, his windows are tinted, and you're just like
They're wearing
pretend like the
gloves
whole
for
world.
their-
Is yeah, I know. Gloves and like a face
Yeah.
visor. But sunscreen's good. You could do actually radius in the back of the hand. Works really well.
scares
Or
me.
fat grafting.
Okay.
And chemical peels. clean off all the pigment.
Really?
Yeah, just like a
God.
30% TCA peel, like your whole forearm. Yeah. If
You
want,
can
we
okay, because I
do
feel
that
like
next
I
time.
don't want to do needles to the hands, but
Okay.
I would do a peel.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have like a 2-step peel that I do 3 times a week. Sometimes I'll do it on my hands, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, they're out there and they're gonna age.
So, someone said, how do you like carbon date somebody? And it's, you can like, if they look very youthful in the face, you just look at their hands. And
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's the hands that don't lie.
One more thing to be insecure about. I didn't even know.
Hands and neck. I'm telling you.
I knew
That's
about
why
my neck.
Yeah.
I stay being
Yeah.
insecure about it.
But yeah, anyway, so if you want the mask, it's on postoprecovery.com. So that's where it's at. We sold out. We have more now. So you guys are the first to have them. So
You
I
guys-
can't wait to use it. I mean,
Yeah.
the best I ever felt were the 2 times I went under the needle with you because I
the
did so
needle.
many supplements from you leading
Yes.
up to it
Yeah.
to prepare your body. I wasn't
Yeah.
drinking. Garlic and fish oil you had me cut out.
yeah, just to prevent bleeding. Yeah.
And then
but then I like it after. It's fine.
yeah, after also I didn't drink and I was
Yeah.
taking all these supplements and I've
Yeah.
been washing my face and
Right.
using hats.
So
and
how much
wearing
do
sunscreen.
how much do you drink?
I drink a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think it just could have been because of that?
Maybe I drink
Okay.
natural wine. I like some
Okay.
biodynamic
So, like,
wine,
okay,
but I have
cool.
like 2 glasses at night.
Okay.
One and a
Right.
half.
Not crazy. Not
Yeah,
crazy.
you know, people are like, I don't drink that much. I'm like, you know what? I drink a lot. Yes, I do.
finally admitting it.
I've gotten much more comfortable. People are like, I'm not in moderation. I'm like, I drink
Yeah.
a lot.
Yeah.
There's 6 days a lot. I
Hey,
drink
whatever.
a lot.
Own it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Good.
But the best I ever felt were the couple times I went under the knife with you. It was this week. It was
Yeah.
literally this week,
Yeah.
1 year ago.
Was it
My
really a
breast
year ago?
augmentation.
Oh my
Happy
God.
anniversary.
Thank you so much. You gave me all kinds of scar cream. I don't really have scars on my
Good.
breast, which is great. I mean, very, very subtle. But
Good. You ask people like what it's so funny. It's like what people care the most about is the scars. Like they'll get like this complex neurosurgical operation. Like you've got like Harvard neurosurgeon who just took out a tumor of your head, and then like what does the patient complain about? It's like, oh, I noticed this scar. I'm just really pissed off. Not to mention that you're cancer free and you no longer have this brain tumor, but I'm sorry, I scared you, Azul.
do you have advice for like good scar treatment after
Yes.
maybe an upper eye bleph or
Yes.
a breast reduction, any of those things?
Yeah, so silicone. Topical silicone creams, tapes. I
I use tapes.
Yeah, there's a product called Skinuva that we carry. You can get it online, and then I actually created my own silicone tapes as well. They're my scar shield that you put on scars, and it has a flattening effect. If you put silicone on, it makes it mimic like it's in contact with each other, so it doesn't have to produce more scar collagen. So that's kind of how it works.
Okay, so Skinuva bio oil I thought was really helpful, and I used silicone strips on my breast.
You did.
And that was all great for
Good.
scars.
Okay, and so Ozempic, hot topic. Let's talk about it.
I think it's a miracle drug.
Okay.
Ozempic and Mounjaro, I think it's a miracle drug. Like there's drugs out there like Fen-Phen that I think are fairly bad for you, but then there's I think it's a tool that is saving people's lives.
Okay.
And it's incredible. I do think there's an abuse of it with people that are just trying to lose a couple pounds.
Right.
Like, and of course I believe in like diet and exercise and healthy lifestyle, but you have some people that literally nothing else is working and they're resorting to anything possible that will work for them. And an injection once a week in your arm, and it's a peptide. So you guys have heard of peptide therapies, right? So like BPC 157, which helps your gut heal. There's other like growth hormone peptide stimulating peptides like Semirelin and stuff like that. A lot of celebrities are doing that. But the semaglutide and tirzepatide, they mimic glucagon, which is basically when you feel full. So people, they just feel full faster. And it also manages your blood sugar and it cuts back on addiction. So people that are like and smokers, or there are people that are drinkers or that have gambling habits, they notice that disappears when they're on this medication.
What's really fascinating to me about Ozempic and Mounjaro is the mental side effects is that you don't think about food or addiction.
The
like you
food
said,
noise,
as much.
and it's funny. It's like I think a lot of people don't realize that food is it can be also a mental health thing, right? That's a coping mechanism for a lot of people. Like they get stressed out, they want to eat, right? And in one respect, it's a natural way of kind of handling some stress for some people, and that helps eliminate that. And I don't mind it because it's not like this toxic thing. That's not like you're smoking cigarettes to lose weight. It's okay. It has a very limited side effect profile. So as opposed to other things that we don't quite really understand what those are, they have major side effects. So what we had prior to this was, and I've done these operations in residency, was gastric bypass surgery
Yep.
Okay.
with a death rate of like 2 to 3%. Like that's crazy.
That's a crazy-
sometimes major complications. Like you're cutting somebody open, you're cutting out half their stomach. Like it's so complicated inside there. So the fact that this is out there and it's an alternative for people, I think is a miracle drug of this. And I'm not trying to promote these companies because I don't really like them, but
It's a miracle drug for obesity.
It is. Yeah. And so now
when it comes to like people wanting to lose 5 pounds, it's a little different conversation.
Different. I know. Yeah. So I get people coming in my office and their BMI is over 30, so they're obese and they're not safe to do surgery. So I actually offer it in my office now. So I get people on it. I have them get to a healthy, safer weight. And sometimes they're like, screw you, doc, I don't need a lipo anymore. I'm like, great, good for you. You know, you lost your weight. Cool. And then I get some people that are like, yeah, I lost all the weight. Now I got this extra skin. I'm like, I got you. You know, I can take care of that too.
To kind of like close the Ozempic conversation or Mounjaro?
Yeah, there's a bunch of different trade names like Zepbound. So like the actual the drug name is semaglutide for Ozempic and Wegovy, and then for Mounjaro it's tirzepatide.
So I know these are newer drugs on the market, but in terms of like getting off of them, do we have research about what that does to
so
you?
they've actually been out for like greater than 10 years. They've just been used for other things. So the safety profile is very well known. When people get off of them, they gain about 50% of the weight back.
That's my main question. This seems like a lifetime commitment.
It can be, but if you lost 50% of 100 pounds, that's not bad. Do you know what I mean? So I always put it in that respect. And I think everybody's different, but if you can lose 50% of whatever your goal weight is, you know, or if you need to be on it lifelong, I mean, it's just like, we have a lifelong bombardment of fast food and commercials and unhealthy things hitting us all the time. It's a tool, you know? So, I mean, yes, I wish everybody could do a healthy lifestyle, diet, exercise, intermittent fasting, whatever, you know? But that doesn't work for everybody.
I like talking about it honestly and like that you could gain 50% of the weight back and it makes you feel full longer. So when you go off of it, you're going to be hungry again. But hopefully you have learn some things along the way.
You get an awareness, right? You get awareness of the emotional eating that people sometimes have and that food noise that you're talking about. So people learn, it teaches them about their bodies and how their eating habits. So
you would hope. I mean, I think that's what people go into it hoping, and I hope the best for those people. I hope that, you know, it just all is not forgotten and you go right back to where you started and it's this lifelong battle. I mean, I really feel for people who have had a lifetime struggle with obesity, and this, I absolutely understand that this can be the answer.
Right.
And there's also abuse of it as well.
There is. Yeah. There's people that, you know, just want to lose a few pounds over like a month to look good in their photos, you know? So it's just like, it's pros and cons, but I think for the most part, the safety profile is pretty low. So if people do that, I'm not too concerned about it. You know, it's not like you're doing meth to, you know, just redlining your heart rate to lose weight. You know, it's like, that's not good for you.
Meth will work too, you guys.
It does. You'll lose weight with meth, but it will cause major problems for you. Yes, you'll have major problems. Yeah. So,
what a hot take.
Yeah, your teeth will go
You'll
bad.
have major problems.
You'll lose weight, but also your teeth.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, can we end with one final thing?
Yeah.
Social media filters.
Yeah.
I come in, make me look like this filter.
The pretty filter.
Yeah. Over the past like 5 years, and more recently, the past 2 years, I get people that are like, I want to look like this. I'm like, what's that? Oh, that's a selfie of you with a filter on it. So I get that, and I get a lot of people that are they're using filters every day on their social media, and a study said that people that use social media have a higher rate of depression, and I can see why. It's like now you have computer AI that's kind of altering your facial appearance to make you look like a cartoon version of yourself almost, and so I don't think it's healthy. I don't know how to fix it. Some people have real things that we can kind of like a filter makes them look better, and we can adjust for those things, but I think it's unhealthy to kind of use your phone and your selfie appearance and the filter appearance as a guide of what you should look like.
Okay.
I think minimizing the use and the exposure. I think that we all want to use a filter here and there.
Yeah.
But I think you've got to check yourself on like, it's all the time.
Yeah.
And now I'm starting to be distorted in the way that I think I look. And so when I see how I actually look, I freak out.
Yeah.
You know, we use a filter here and there, but we also have tons of unfiltered. We have videos, we have live show videos. Those aren't filtered. I mean, we see our natural selves too.
What do you feel about that?
I'm laughing because even if I used a filter on Instagram every single day, you could go to Girls Gotta Eat and see what I look like. So like, there would be no reason for me to seriously alter my face because you could go.
But it's less about other people. Like it's more about like you every day. Like if you're every single day you see yourself in this world and then that becomes your norm. Like I just think you're constantly reinforcing this false appearance. So I think you got to check yourself on like, am I addicted? Can I post something without a filter, or does the thought of that give me anxiety?
Yeah.
So I think it's like self-control and moderation, like filters in moderation, everything in moderation.
Yeah, no, but it is a real thing, and it is impacting people coming into my office about it, and especially like selfies in general.
Well,
So,
and then like the face, like sometimes if I want to do a little smoothing or something in Facetune, I'll use Facetune here and there. I don't do anything crazy. Like I'm not nipping and tucking and doing all that, but I'll do a little smooth here and there. And you'll hit that AI button and you're like, oh my God. And
I've never hit that button and I never will. I will never touch that button.
I didn't even know about an AI button.
I don't want to touch it.
So it's really just mostly smoothing, but they'll bring
your eyes up a little.
And I did it to picture me and my boyfriend. And I was like, damn. I was like, I thought he was like the most handsome man before this. And now I see him with AI. And I just was like, you know what? Send it.
Wow.
But I'm kidding. But Instagram will now tell, do you know this? Like if Instagram detects a photo has been made with AI, they put it in the top. It says made with AI.
No kidding.
Yeah. So I noticed it with a cover art thing of ours. Like I think our designer threw a little AI on it, and which is fine. It's cover art. It should look perfect. But Instagram was like made with AI. I was like, oh, okay. I didn't know that. Here we are.
That's fascinating. Well, that's cool that they're doing that.
I like it.
Yeah.
I mean, transparency.
Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Well, this was amazing. And we're so happy we met you and your team. Danny on your team introduced us to you. She was a long-time listener, and I just love her so much. We love her so much. And
absolutely.
Your whole team has just been wonderful.
I couldn't be here. Like I'm like, they're like, they tell me everything. I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing half the time. I'm like, oh, you should do this. And I'm like, oh,
it's also, we have so much fun when we come to see you. I had to come alone recently. I was like, never again.
I'm upset because I just didn't need
It's usually Rain and I in there. We're holding on to the implants as stress balls, and we have a great time.
Taking laughing gas.
Come back anytime. We have that. Did you try that?
She did.
It wasn't checked up enough, so it didn't really do anything. So I got to come back and do more.
Right, we'll get you
and I want to say congrats to you and your wife. You just had your fourth child.
We did. Thank you very much.
That sounds like a lot to deal with.
First boy.
First boy. Yeah. So we have 3 girls, and now we have a boy. And so
that's amazing.
Yeah, he's 2 weeks old, and he's doing fantastic. So,
well,
I know. My wife is the strongest woman I've ever met.
I love her.
I don't know how she does it. So.
We love her.
Yeah.
She came in one time when I was there, and she was like, "Tell me everything. I heard you have a new boyfriend. Tell me how you met." Like all this stuff. She was just wonderful.
She's great. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, Dr. Barrett, plug everywhere that you are, where people can follow you.
I mean, you could check me out on Instagram, drdanielbarrett.com, and then my TikTok is Barrett Plastic Surgery. And then if you're interested in any of those products, especially if you're going to have surgery, postuprecovery.com. It's the stuff that we kind of put out there. We think is best for recovering. So.
And if you guys go visit, tell them we sent you. Say you came from Girls Gotta Eat.
Absolutely. We'd love to see you. So, thank you.
And you guys know where to find us, girlsgottaeat.com for tour tickets, all the things. Girls Gotta Eat podcast on Instagram and TikTok. I'm Ash Hess. Raina is Raina.Greenberg. Our other company is Vibes Only. That's vibesonly.com. Subscribe on YouTube. Share this episode with a friend. Go see Dr. Barrett when you feel the need. And we'll see you next week.
See you on Thursday.
See you on Thursday.
Bye, guys.